Good day and gratitude, family. Good day and gratitude. I know, I was going to sleep. And I thought, well, let me get up like I said I was. Once I had laid down, I think that was it. I'd have been coming on here tomorrow saying, hey, good day, everybody. I went to sleep on y'all. But, I know we have reading to do. Oh, there it is. And we're going to get right to reading tonight. As soon as we get a few people in here, we're going to get right to reading. Oh, wow. That's how I know to just look at it like that. I'm going to wait till some people come on before I start reading. Or maybe not. And the more I think about it, the more I wonder what exactly is going on. What have we really into that we have no idea? I mean, it could really be a war. I mean, I heard some news about it again today. World War III, nuclear war. I mean, I never even entertained or considered that, it could be a war. Of course, but then I haven't been paying attention to anything that has been going on anyway in the world or with my people. So I would have no idea that, in the 10 years or in the next few years, there could actually be a war. But yeah, it's being talked about. It is definitely being talked about. Yeah, so it's kind of like, who else has America pissed off? Who else has America pissed off? For people to be talking about some type of war. But I did make mention that, that I would give my voice a rest, because it could be that, I have no idea. I had no idea that I actually would be straining my voice that much. But I don't know. And then I haven't heard anything else about the fog, so maybe I'm horsing myself out. I have no idea. I mean, I've just never been horsed just out the blue. And it was at the time I did start my page. I think I had it a few days, but I don't think I was just into it, like I tend to get, obviously. But anyway, still, if you do see the fog, honey, don't even go through it. Don't go through the mist, the fog, or the misty rain, or, Just pay attention to the weather. We have to always pay attention to everything, and especially the skies. Black America. I'm not even going to try to show nothing on YouTube because we already know it's going to be skipping and skating and stuff, and it's not going to play. Good evening, family. Good day, good day. Good day and gratitude. Yeah, I'm a little late. I actually fell asleep, and I looked at the clock, and it was like 12:02, and I thought about it. Do I want to come on? Yeah, I do. I do. I do want to come on and talk just a few minutes, especially to read a little bit, because we do have a mission. I do have a mission. You know, it's taking shape. It's taking shape. I actually have a little insight on what's going on with my people. Why we're so against each other. Why we're so infatuated with our open enemy. We have this unnameable. We didn't know what to call it. We've been calling it self-hate probably since I was a little girl. But now we found out it has a name. Yes, it has a name, dedicated ignorance. And our brother, Dr. Ray Hagins, coined it, dedicated ignorance. But we know it is self-hate. So you'll hear me use either or when I'm referring to it. And that's what I aim to do. That's what our mission here is, to assist Black America and Black media in finding out what happened to Black America. Why is Black America the most peaceful people? And yeah, we know that, there are no totally peaceful people. I'm even the Amish. And I reference the Amish a lot. I do. I really give it to them. I mean, they don't have nothing to do with nobody in society. So no, you ain't got nothing that the Amish want that they gonna get and take back to their village. Nope. Even in the wintertime, in the middle of wintertime, the Amish still remain true to themselves. And that's what, Black America needs to do. Everybody does it. Everybody remains true to themselves at certain levels, at certain points. Everybody has different boundaries. We see other groups of people, well, I do. I see other groups of people, they mingle more in society. They're coming out more, but they still, you can tell they're loyal. They're faithful to themselves, to their people. In Black America, we need to find some flooring of, of unity with us. We got to get some kind of foothold ourselves for our people. Because I think out of all groups of people, we're the only ones that really are not united in any type of way. That's what I see. I see other people and stuff, they do have their issues too. We all do, but they have some sort of foundation for their people, whereas my people, we've had the whole floor, the whole foundation, swept from under us a long time ago. White America did it. And we never got it back. We were never able to get our footing back, our foothold back. It's been very hard to even make up the smallest loss that we suffered out here with white America, with integrating. And that's what happened. We integrated. We should have never integrated. We should have never integrated like that. It was okay to come out and want to eat, if that's what you want to do. And that you have the right to do that. I mean, I don't think that anyone should limit any part of this earth. All the mingling and mangling that's been done, But that's how white America did. They didn't want you. They didn't want us in their restaurants, in their schools, in their stores. They didn't want us there. And we should have respected that. And we should have kept our own. We should have kept our own instead of wanting white Americans. And now we got it. Now we in the thick of things. Black Americans in the thick of things with white America. And we at a point where we got to decide whose side are we on? What do we want? What do we need as a people? And fortunately for us, we waking up and ain't white America. It's not white America. So good day and gratitude. I'm Face the Nation, and we are here on Bolden Unchained. And we are here to assist Black America and Black media with the uncovering of the many projects, operations, the many. I know I just been thinking about that. I think I need to redo this here. With the many projects and operations, the agendas, the events, bills, codes, compromises, acts, the laws, studies, courses, experiments. They have so many targets on Black America. Yeah, I definitely need to updo that. I think I need to upgrade this right here. And we're here to assist Black America, and we're looking through a lens, a spiritual lens, y'all, not a religious lens. We are not looking through a religious lens here. Other channels, other platforms, and other family would greatly welcome, your religious views and your forgiveness of everything that's happened. But right here, no, I'm not in a forgiving mood. Not here. Just like you can't come here and start playing Westerns. You can't come here and expect forgiveness for white people because we're not there yet. Mm-mm. We're not there yet. I may never be there to forgive any of this that's happened to my ancestors. So no, we're not looking through a religious lens. We're looking through a spiritual lens of loyalty. Who are we loyal to? I know we've been loyal to white America. We've been loyal to this integration, but we haven't been loyal to ourselves. And I have decided that here, because in my life, I'm loyal to my ancestors. Everywhere I go, even here, I'm not going to sit up here either and be something else that I'm not. Because if that's the case, I wouldn't even be sitting up here. No, my ass would be doing something else, sleeping, watching TV, creating, building. I wouldn't be sitting here lying, saying that we're going to forgive white America. We're going to try to find racial reconciliation with white America. That's not why I'm here. That is not why we're here. We're looking at it through a spiritual lens of loyalty for the worst traumatic Holocaust our people have ever endured and still enduring to this day. Yeah, I wanted to ask, I've been thinking about it all day and stuff. Is it feeling like 1965 yet? I was wondering to myself, is anybody anywhere feeling the tightening? The pressure that's coming? Is it beginning to feel like 1965? And then I thought about it's probably feeling like a December, the very end when things started to seemingly get better, So people probably like, oh yeah, it ain't all that. We hope it wouldn't be all that, but unfortunately, we finna see some unprecedented times that we never even thought would come in our lifetime. And it did. We should have been making sure it wouldn't come in our children and grandchildren's, our great-grandchildren's lifetime. We should have been thinking about their future. We should have been thinking about their future instead of our own. Instead of our own, we're thinking about our own future and having, the comforts of white supremacy, of white people, and having the bag, getting the bag. Everybody want to get the bag. You got to get the bag by any means necessary. That's what we teach our people. You got to get the bag. Yeah. Whether you running the ball or rapping your people out, cussing your people out and stuff, disrespecting our women and stuff. We living like white people. We thinking like white people. And we can't go into this new world order with that mindset. We got to change our whole mindset. Yeah, it's very draining. A lot of times I feel drained, just knowing that it's a whole lot of work to do. And we got to do it, It's like a mental preparation, I guess, because we mentally got to get prepared for it, because we never saw any of this coming. Can you imagine those of us that still don't know that, the Civil Rights Act? Have anybody stepped out? Y'all heard anybody stepped out and say, hey, revoking the Civil Rights Act is unconstitutional? Because we need to know. Somebody need to be, on that. We got too many people out here in position. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Rich is fucking black hard, and we all going to fight over food. Voting against immigrants is voting against our food. But who's going to be in the fields and farms? Knock, knock. I don't know, but it ain't going to be black folks. We done. We finna put our gardens on the inside. We finna put everything we need right there where we need it at. Yep. That's what I see for Black America. We not finna be, trying to get in and make things safe and calm and comfortable for white America and nobody no more. We ain't finna be fighting over food. Black America is finna grow our own food in your house. Black America, in your apartment. I don't care if you got a 1-bedroom efficiency with no bedroom. You better take a little bit of corner, a little bit piece of that kitchen, and get you something growing. I don't care if you got to pick put you up some little mini greens and cabbages or something, but get you something growing in there that you can fix and have for yourself. Store up your waters, we're going to try to make us a water filtration or something so we can have us a little something going on. But yeah, we're not finna get out here and be in the melee, in the madness, because when you're hungry, you are going to run out there looking for food. In Black America, we got to start fasting. Fasting. We shouldn't be eating all these damn times anyway. We got to start these things, start implementing these things, Black America. Because everybody is counting on us to need them so that we come back with our hand out. We're hungry, we're tired, we're cold. We need food, we need shelter, we need warmth. We can provide those things for ourselves, each other. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, we're going to hear a lot that's going on. And a lot of people going to, make it seem like, I probably even make it seem like it's hopeless. Like, it's hopeless. Like we don't have a chance in hell. Oh, and I really don't want to tell the worst of the worst of how it's going to be. I don't spare anything, but I don't even know how to express it, how it's going to be. But when I do, I'm sure I will. But it's not to make you fearful. It's not to make you feel like, we're not going to win this. It's just to show us that we got to be wary. We got to wake up and see what's going on. It's going to be your decision if you want to jump out the window or walk out the door. But you got to wake up in this burning house. Black America. I know, Tassie, I don't know about everybody else. I already done told you I don't know about, mixed people and mulatto people and stuff. People who have two sides they can go on. You can choose your Caucasian side, your white side, or you can choose your black side, your black family. I don't know. It's going to have to be an individual thing. I know for Black America, where I'm sitting at, we ain't got but one option, and that's us. We better not take our ass over there with white folks and thinking white folks going to be our comfort. No, get your ass over there if you want to. You're going to be the one making it comfortable and easy for them. White folks don't have a history of taking care of nobody. Nobody, not even themselves, not their children, not their husband. White folks don't take care of nobody, not even their elderly people. They don't have a history of that. Now, they got a history of adapting Since they had to, they got a history, a small history, of having to do for themselves. And I tell you, honey, they go out their way to get somebody else to do it. Do as much as you can. And I can take the rest from here. But, well, to me, in my opinion, white folks want that easy street back. They don't give a damn if it's going to be a person or a robot. They want that easy street back. You were never supposed to get away. Black America. But you did. And now you letting them draw you back. You better find some kind of way to hold on. So, yeah, we look through a spiritual lens of loyalty, resilience. Because who can survive this and it not be over? Our Holocaust is not over. Our Holocaust didn't even end. It kind of like shifted, took the pain off of, it took the vision off of one pain, and kind of focused it on a numbing. It don't hurt here or nothing. It's just kind of like, a little numbing. But it's tolerated. It's tolerable. It's messed us all up. We can't even feel what we should be feeling about each other because of the dedicated ignorance. Yeah, that's what it is right here, dedicated ignorance. I wrote down a little bit more of what he said about dedicated ignorance. Yeah, but there was Dr. Ray Hagins. He's a psychologist and a pastor. A psychologist and a pastor. I think I heard him when I first started waking up. Yep, and I kept listening to him and stuff for a while, I didn't know he was the one that coined dedicated ignorance. But I know he was saying that somewhere in his ministry, he woke up to the truth of Anubis and Horus, I believe, or something like that. So he did have an awakening. And he is telling our people, that it's not all what we thought it would be. It's more like religion is more like a crutch or a vice that we need, And he said that it undo or reverse ideas and concepts that have been programmed into the minds of our people by the religious statements and church doctrines that have caused them to adopt a belief system that has resulted in their loss of contact with what is real, factual, historical, and spiritual. And see, when we get into religion and stuff, we automatically want to forgive. We automatically want to forgive. Oh, that's what it was. That's what it was, the Port Chicago Mutiny. Family, I did watch it, and I had wrote down to get the book, but it's a book about the Chicago port. I just be writing stuff on stuff. Yeah, I need to get some notebooks so I can keep up with the list. Instead of writing a list here and writing a list there and stuff. But it's so much that we have to, tune into. It's unfortunate that, we are here at this time, rolled back in 1965, and it really don't even seem like it. But it's true. We rolled back into 1965, just like that. And we knew it. The whole world knew it. Everybody, the whole United States knew it. But we talking about the United States, but everybody else did too. Everybody else, the rest of the world seemed like they feel sorry for us. Oh, I feel sorry for y'all in America. The greatest country in the world, allegedly. And people like, wow, we deserve so much, sympathy from the world and stuff. But everybody done rolled over and let white America be. That's what the problem is to me. White America done influenced this whole country. I would even say the whole world. White America done influenced them. So we really have no other choice but to stand up for ourselves. We don't have any other choice. I know folks are saying, get out of the country, get your passport, and get ready to leave out of the country and stuff. Yeah, get our passport. Get it just to have it. You may leave. You may decide to go with your family and stuff. At least get it. Have your family to get it. Even if they go and you don't go. Because all of us ain't leaving. Somebody going to stay here. Everybody ain't finna flee. Like what was that they called it? The hijira. When they were saying, black folks running for their lives. And I think that's what they called it, the hijira of Negroes. Black people running for their lives and stuff. I really can't say we're going to run. All of us going to run and flee this time. I don't know what it's going to look like. I truly don't. I really haven't even thought about it to that extent, But I know for me, personally, I don't think I'm going to leave. I don't think I'm going to leave. For the simple fact that everybody not going. It's still going to be throngs of our people here. So, I don't know. I guess a bulk of us, we try to get our friends and family to safety. Like everybody else been coming over here for asylum. Is that finna be a reverse, action? Now we finna go places for asylum. These folks done got us in a whole bunch of bullshit. We should have been left them alone. We should have been left them alone. I bet you we would be in a better place. We would be in a better mindset. Whoa. Yeah. And we looking through a spiritual lens of education. We studying this. Yeah, I ain't just reading. I am not just reading this. I am literally studying this, trying to figure out, wrap my mind around it. Why would we stay around these people? Mingling and marrying, and it ain't been no kind of atonement whatsoever for what's happened to us. And we ain't had no healing. I'm really trying to wrap my mind around it. They ain't had no healing either. That white folks have not had no healing. And I don't know if Black America and the rest of America think that white America is okay. But white America is not okay. White America is not healed at all. White America just done projected everything on every other group of people. And, and most folks are okay with thinking and believing and living, like white America ain't never done nothing. What they did do, and we forgave slavery. I totally forgave slavery. Yep, I forgave, a lot of stuff that even after Emmett Till, I think I forgave Emmett Till what happened to Emmett, till I found out how it happened. And that was the culture. That wasn't like an isolated incident, something that happened. I guess it all was put into perspective once I started reading. Once I started reading racial violence in Kentucky, 1865 to 1940, Red Summer, the summer of 1919, and the awakening of Black America. Once I started reading, honey, ain't no forgiving nothing. I take everything back. I take it back. I do. That's what education has done for me. It's gave me the choice. No, I'm not finna sit there, you got to forgive for you. It's for you, face. Yeah, to forgive my ancestors. It ain't for me nowhere to forgive my enemies that would do the same thing to me. See, Black America, we don't seem to understand. We are in another awakening. This right here, what's happened in this book? This book is literally, that's what it is. The summer of 1919 and the awakening of Black America. That's the name of the book. That's the name of the book. And it happened. Everything in this book, the slaughtering, the burning, the lynching, the dragging, the mutilating, the dismembering, it all happened. And we are in our second awakening, Black America. And I know y'all wondering, well, not y'all particular ones that know these things. But those that didn't know, I wonder, how did this ever even get past us? And, how we going to deal with this if it happens again? It's been happening. How we deal with it is we stay together. We mend us. See, we got to start looking out for each other. We got to start caring for each other. We can't keep walking past each other, acting like we different. Acting like we're different. We don't share anything in common. If nothing else, we got our ancestors in common. If nothing else, we got us in common. I know we find comfort and we find a sanctuary with other people. We don't find that with us anymore. That's because we broken. We traumatized. We're afraid to actually show what we feel for each other. Yeah, we can't be together like we normally love to be around each other. And we find such contentment and joy when we're around each other because we get the building. When we're together, we get the building, we get the critiquing and visualizing. And see, we can't do them things anymore. Ever since Red Summer, ever since white America showed us over and over again that they very much against us building us, healing us, caring for us. So we can't be together like that. We will not come together like that. That's why we don't come together. When we do, it's for something else. And that doesn't work for us. We'd rather just not even be together. Don't even say nothing to me. It has made us turn against each other because we happen to be something that we not. We can't be who we are to each other because of white America. They've instilled a fear in us. You see, it's very complex. And I feel like if we don't fix this, if we don't come together now, oh yeah, we're going to be back in chains. It's just a matter of time for somebody holler out, I propose we bring back slavery. And don't tell me, please don't tell me, Black America, out of all the people that's sitting in their seats, that's done made it, they made it, ain't none of them thought of no way, no loophole, no nothing to say, hey, this right here is against the Constitution. Which, I was listening some years ago and they were saying, well, we wasn't citizens anyway. And then somehow like it's more than one Constitution. Well, I got some books over there and we're going to be reading it too. But we're here to find out what happened to Black America. Who separated Black America? Who divided Black America? Traumatized us till we ain't even got no focus, no care, no concern about ourselves. Yeah, I think I'm in shock. I literally think I'm in shock my whole life. Wow. Let's read our disclaimer because, we still have to read this disclaimer right here until things, we get the things down the loophole stuff. What's happening down the, the pipe? What's happening with everything that's coming on with Project 2025? I imagine it's finna be changes every day. I hope I can keep up. I hope you can keep up. We can keep up. Let's keep each other up on what's happening, what changes we've heard about. Get yourself to Black media. Yeah, get yourself to Black media. If you're doing nothing else, listen to Black media so we can find out what's going on and what we are thinking about. Because when you're listening to white America, listening to white media, that's for white America. During these times right here, white America was doing what it do best, listening to their media. Their media was their soundboard. You know how you hear echo? You go, face, face, face. Well, that's white media. Whatever white folks thought and put out there, white media just broadcasted it to the rest of the world. So we don't get much benefit from white media. I do go to white media sometimes, like Democracy Now! I'll go to white media to see what they telling each other, because they do try to reach their most common people that won't receive, the message that they're trying to put out there. It's not as embellished and and easier to accept and decode like some of the easier stuff they do, because they know once they put that message out on this level, everybody gonna have a chance to get some of it, and that wisdom that's in it. So yeah, I will go to some white medias and listen to see what's going on with them and stuff, but mostly, yeah, I'm at black media. I want to hear what my people saying. I want to hear what my people are thinking, because that's what resonates with me. Yeah, it ain't gonna resonate with everybody else, but it resonates with me. So yeah, let's read this copyright disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer under 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair uses are used permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. So yeah, we can do this as of now. We still can read, we can teach, we can critique. You hear it said we can criticize, and we will be doing a lot of that. We can comment, it's even scholarships. You want to start your news channel and stuff? There you go. There you go, right there. That's all you need to get started with it. Yeah, that's all you need to get started with it. And I do want to know, I really want to know, do pastors have to read this? I've never in my whole life heard a pastor ever read the copyright disclaimer. But I know that the Bible, because there was one pastor recently, and he proposed that the Bible be our text for racial reconciliation. It was on one of my earlier on airs. And I don't think the Bible is sufficient for racial reconciliation. Because, like I was saying, the Bible's going to cause us to forgive and forget, and we can't afford to forgive and forget no more. We need to remember. I think books like this, texts like this, lynching in Duluth, 100 years of lynching. We're going to get Ida B. Wells' book, The Red Record. All of these books are texts for racial reconciliation, if there's to be any had. If, and that's a big if where I'm sitting at, if there's to be any reconciliation to have had, what are we going to reconciliate with them for? With white people for? With white America? Shouldn't we move on by ourselves at this point? I mean, I don't even having babies with white America, I don't see no benefit that it was for us. It just further perpetrated and embellished the illusion of inclusion. It really made us think that we were part of, of society, that we were part of this. And we never were. They never treated us like we were. They just, always held the glorification of the white man in front of us, white supremacy, racism, and let us achieve some things and then take it away from us. So no, I don't feel like racial reconciliation should even be a priority at this point. We need to reconcile with each other, Black America. We need to reconcile with each other. To reconcile with any other group of people. I ain't saying we done fell out with everybody else yet. Everybody else gonna fall out with us. See, everybody else finna ease their strife. They finna go through. And they gonna make it easier for themselves when they say, okay, yeah, we'll put the signs back in the window. I'm just saying what it's gonna be. It may be. I'll put the signs back in the window. All the businesses are gonna go back to white owned, white only. White workers, white staff only. Everybody finna go back to that. They're not gonna want to at first. Because like I said, we done got married. We done had many babies. We all done integrated so much. We think we fully integrated, but we didn't. We've been played like a fool. Everybody been using everything we've had to give. What's finna happen is everybody finna slowly side back over to white folks' side. Everybody. Ain't nobody got no benefits to stay on our side. What you think they're gonna stay on our side? They're gonna willingly. Everybody gonna willingly take John Brown's mindset. No, it's gonna be a very few that's gonna take John Brown's mindset. The rest of them gonna be trying to make things easier, warmer. We need food, we need shelter, we need clothing, we need water and stuff. So yeah, Black America, we gotta go back over. We gotta go back over here. Oh, we don't mean nothing against y'all personally, Black America. Y'all know we love y'all, Black America. But we got to side with white America because we need to look out for ourselves, our people. That's basically what people are going to say. I don't know when it's going to happen. Hell, I just found out, like you, that the Civil Rights Act was revoked. And then, the Department of Justice, they revoked their division of the Civil Rights Act. The division in the Department of Justice. Yeah, they revoked that too. But the Department of Justice itself is said to be eliminated. Yeah, the Department of Justice itself. So yeah, this is a whole unprecedented. This new awakening right here. I don't know where it's going to end up for anybody. But I know Black America, we need to stay together. But yeah, I got that out the way so I can read and stuff. But yeah, I need to get back up on my sleep. As you can see, my voice is just like, really, I need to get a bag of tea or something to put in there. Give me some flavor. But yeah, we're going to read a little bit. Maybe we'll finish the whole chapter. And this is the immunity herbal tea. Yes, and I'm just going to read. I'm not going to be, getting all overly emotional and stuff and stressing myself out, honey, because it is what it is. Maybe I just get me a microphone, Not for here, Maybe we all probably need a microphone. They shut this off, we're going to have to talk to each other some kind of way. Maybe telepathically. We used to speak telepathically. Sometimes we still do. Because, you ever just be thinking about your friend or something, and all of a sudden they call you on the phone, Because they got that telepathic message. Yeah, this is Farrakhan. Farrakhan speaks on the protection of the Black women. I really do look up to him for what he's able to do. Ain't many people, in my opinion, not even the church, can sincerely reach out, step out there, and go out there and save the Black man. Face him. Face that Black man face to face and save his life. Not even the church. No, see, the church is a facade. Yeah, the church itself is illusion today. But Farrakhan, yeah, that man, my brothers, they go out there, honey, and they face the Black man face to face. What happens is the Black man don't face them. The Black man turn around and go back the other way. Yep, sure do. But Farrakhan, he go out there, him and our brothers go out there, they face Black men, and the ones that they reach out to, that reach back, they save their whole life. How? Why? How? By giving them the focus of the Black man, giving them their focus back. Just giving them their focus back. Putting the focus back on the Black man, the Black woman, the Black child. That's all they're doing. Putting the focus back on us. And it works. It works. I done told it many times. Once we lose our focus on us, then we are under the distraction. We watching everything. Every distraction has our attention because we done lost the focus on us. We done misplaced it. And that's what Farrakhan knows. And yeah, Brother Ben, yeah, Brother Ben. So I would say Black America, our minister, I know you say you already got yourself together and stuff, and that's good. You know, that is good for you. But I would say Black America are Black men and women that we don't have ourselves together like that. Yeah, start listening to Farrakhan. Start listening to Farrakhan, because if you get nothing else, if you know you won't join the Nation of Islam, you will not be a Muslim, at least get some personal freedom about yourself. Listen to somebody that's going to help you get your personal freedom, Black America, so you can speak about us. Yeah, I've gone to watch the mosque and watch the Nation of Islam at Mosque Marian in Chicago. You can go to mosque and urban leagues in your city and stuff, and they should be doing the broadcast. There's possibly chapters in your city and stuff, and you can go there and you can fellowship with them. You ain't got to join them if you don't want to, if it don't resonate with you. But Black America, we got to get somewhere. We have to get somewhere, preferably with somebody that's got a focus for us, for our safety, for our unity, our families. And Farrakhan is one. Yeah, I know it's a lot. It's a controversy. What happened to Malcolm? Who did it? I know it is, honey. We between a rock and a hard place. We between a rock and a hard place. So if it ain't with the Nation of Islam to find yourself and your personal freedom, you got to find it somewhere. We got to find it somewhere. Yeah. And, it's out there. It's out there for us. You don't have to belong to any church or, religion, spiritual place of worship or anything like that. There's plenty of atheists in the world and stuff. People don't even go to church. I don't even go to church. I don't go to church. It's over a decade now. If I do step in the house of any, church, like, it'll be to listen to the broadcast in the Farrakhan, which you could do right here at home on your internet and stuff. You ain't even got to go to the mosque. Yeah, you can just listen to it right here at home. They got a website. You can watch all the videos. You can binge watch them if you want to, instead of being on Netflix. Black America, we just have to find it where we can get it at. We got to get this unity out the mud, like everything else. And most likely us common folks, the ones that's going to have to do it. Because as we see, we should have seen our successful ones that made it, the success stories, that really made it, they financially free and, they living the good life. We see them on TV and hear them on the radio and stuff, Yeah, don't nothing need to be in their hands. Don't nothing else need to be in their hands. And I would say even our politicians, I don't even know much about politicians, but I'm like, damn, the politicians even let this happen. They don't need nothing in their hands either. I'm sure y'all know the right ones that need to be just yanking away. Give me that. Give me that. Give it here. Just go right down the line, taking everything from their ass. Give me that. Give me that pen. Give me that pencil. You don't need to sign nothing. You don't need to read nothing. Just push them right on out the seat. So I'm, kind of like a mess. I'm appalled. How did our people actually sit in their political seat, whatever the position is, and just let it roll on across their lap, like they didn't have no duty whatsoever to at least let the people know. But yeah, like I said, I really don't know politics and stuff, but I'm pretty sure if I was sitting in one of them seats, oh no, I'm finna get up and leave. Yeah, I'm gonna resign myself if that's what y'all doing, but I'm gonna put my signature for no, hell no, and then I'm finna leave, and I'm coming to let the people know, my people know, what's really finna go down. And I don't know, maybe people that made it, our politicians and stuff, and successful ones that made it, maybe they feel like it's just a cycle of life. Maybe they just feel like it's the cycle of life. So, and let me put that in perspective. Because if they feel like it's just a cycle of life, are they saying that history is going to, and it should, and we shouldn't be concerned that it is going to repeat itself? See, we ain't thinking. Black America not thinking. We thinking like white folks. Our whole life is just like white folks. We live it like white folks. We breathe like white folks. We eat like white folks. We take care of ourselves like white folks. We carry ourselves like, we dress like white folks. We even teach our kids, our babies, like white folks. When I'm talking to us and stuff, it'd be hard to not say kids. I'd be on the verge of saying bless you when I sneeze or something, but I say prosperity. But see, it's because we still communicating like that. So I know y'all don't talk like I talk, and y'all don't understand how I talk. So you be tempted to go back to the old ways. But see, we got to get rid of those. We got to get rid of those old ways and stuff. And, it's got to be a collective effort. We just learn from each other. We'll have a whole new language, a whole new way to greet each other. If we just, tune in and accept that we need to make fundamental changes for our people. For our people. It ain't about other people and stuff. We don't wish other people no harm whatsoever. We'll help other people, if they caught in it. But our first and final concern and focus is Black America. That's it, and that's all. Anybody wander up in the way and stuff, we're not going to hurt them and run them out. We'll help them, little baby wander in and stuff, yeah. Feed the baby, clothe the baby, get the baby one, and take them where they belong. We're not going to leave the baby here. Take that baby back over there to them people that it belong to. This is about Black America here. Ain't nobody coming to the cookout no more. No. You go and cook with them. This is about Black America right here. And where I'm sitting at, we don't want no infiltrations. I ain't bringing nobody. No, I'm not bringing nobody to the cookout. And especially nobody that, that's not sure whose side they on. You ain't going with me. You ain't even coming with me. No, I'll let you know. It's best you probably stay here, wait on somebody else. Because where I'm going and stuff, I don't think you're going to fit in. I don't think you're going to like it. I don't think you're going to be comfortable. So you probably want to wait with someone else. Because right here, we just strictly about Black America. Yeah. We will have some intercessions, in other books that mention other people and stuff, because we reading, trying to find out what happened to Black America, who did it, how can we get healing to Black America. Dr. Joy DeGrasse said we ain't never had healing. Ain't nobody even, and I look at it like ain't nobody even felt no type of, no tinge or nothing. That Black America ain't never been healed, and Black America still been rolled over on. Hell, everybody know that this Civil Rights Act being revoked is on Black America. It's a shot at Black America. Yep, it's a shot at Black America. But a lot of people also know Black America like shit. We done anyway. We done with y'all asses anyway. So they pretty much won, and they said, well, hell, what are we gonna do? So yeah, it can't be no going back for us. We're gonna have to, we're gonna have to forge forward. We're gonna have to keep going forward. That's what we're gonna have to do. I don't even know what that's gonna look like. Maybe all of us gonna be reading. We all finna be reading. This right here very well could be the choice. No, the force. We being forced at this point. We had a choice, to have a little extra day to fight for us. But now we ain't got that. No, I think Kamala was our last choice to at least have another day to fight. Now we pretty much forced to fight for us, our rights, ourselves. Our cosmic rights. We got to fight for our cosmic rights. This man done took our civil rights. Yeah, he done took our civil rights. What next? I don't know. We got to fight for our cosmic right. We got a right to be here, to be ourselves, to be creative, to be loving, to be nurturing, to be pro-life. Who else in the world is finna fight in America? Who else in America is finna fight for cosmic rights, the right to live, the right to be here? For us. I mean, for us. Always everybody gonna say, oh yeah, well, it is what it is. They used to it. You know how they always thought that it was saying in the book that white America thought that, especially the father of medicine, their father of medicine, James Marion Sims, had taught all white folks and stuff that black people didn't need anesthesia, that black people could handle any amount of pain and stuff. And white America believed them. See, white America been reading all these books. That's why white America got the mindset they got. Because they still been having all these books and stuff. Other people know of this knowledge and stuff. So it's easier for them to see us as white America has taught them to. We just didn't have access to these books. Even when we could go in the libraries. Because it's like a stigma, a taboo. Even when we were little kids and stuff, you would see the little black kid with a paper bag wrapped around the book. A paper bag literally wrapped around the book, because we knew it would be some trouble if white America saw our baby reading that book. We knew it would be some trouble if white America saw our babies reading that book. It was a very crafty idea, though, wasn't it? Creative, wasn't it? But fearful. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, January the 6th, that's true. I heard somebody say that Trump done pardon all of them folks. Yeah, and it's gonna be what it's gonna be. They gonna do what they gonna do. But Black America, honey, we gonna have to get us together. We ain't got nowhere else to go. We don't have no other people. We don't have no other people. The few of us that will claim, oh yeah, we got sanctuary with such and such and such and such. You don't know what that sanctuary gonna look like when the shit hit the fan and you the only one there. Black America. Yeah, I know it's probably be 10 or 20 of you. It probably be 10 or 20 of you. You, your family, your children, and your parents and stuff. But hell, it's gonna be 10 of you and probably 200 of them, 2,000 of them. You see the odds I'm getting at here. Black America. Be sure where you put yourself, because everybody's not loyal to Black America. Your ass fucked around and be delectable. What is that the word? The delectable Negro. See, this a whole new ball game now. Everything is revealed. Nothing is as it was seen, as it seems. It was an illusion. Yeah. What was I had a dream that I seen some videos of people like they dogs and stuff was actually standing up walking and shit. And so I had a dream that when it was a vision, more like a spiritual vision, like William Joseph Simmons had, about the white men on road, the white road men on horses in the sky and stuff. Well, mine was spiritual too. Because I had a dream that when the shit hit the fan and the robot dogs came out, because they do got robot dogs, right? You can look it up on YouTube. Y'all, these robot dogs are doing exercises and, they flipping over and stuff. They jumping really, really high. The humanoid robots are doing exercises. It's a whole warehouse of robots. And they all doing exercise and they showing how they can run, how they can jump. And, some of them doing fighting techniques and stuff like that. And it's like, wow, who the hell are they going to be fighting? Well, anyway, back to the vision. The vision was when the robot dogs come out, real dogs is finna stand up. They finna start walking. They might start talking and tell y'all, Black America, what the hell was y'all waiting on? We've been watching you for years. Come on now, Face. You've been my owner since I was a puppy. And you didn't know? I can stand up on my two back legs and walk into the room. Watch them dogs and cats start standing up when they see this whole new world coming. They finna have an awakening too. Yeah, that was the vision. I don't know. I did see that movie, The Zoo. The Zoo. It's not a movie, it's a series on Netflix, but that was like 3 years ago, I think. And that was just entertainment. It was just entertainment. It was good. That first episode was really interesting because the lions in Africa started awakening. And when the tourists, white folks, would come into Africa to prey on the animals and stuff, like a safari hunt. And the animals started fighting back. And at the same time, in America, the animals in the zoos started awakening. And they started fighting back too. And then, yeah, it was just like, wow, do this shit if y'all want to. Do this if you want to. Regular animals finna start standing up. Yep, I know. I'm like, wow, whoa. But time will tell, though, won't it? In 40 years, we'd be like, yeah, Faith said that the dogs was going to stand up. Yeah, the dogs was going to start walking. Because Scooby-Doo was talking, ooh. I mean, yeah, it's really like, wow, what is really going on? Then remember that one lady, Virginia Woolf, I think that was her name, revealed about the shapeshifters and reptilians and shit like that. Honey, Black America, we don't know what we're going to see. Our ancestors saved us from. They didn't want us to see none of that. And now we very well might see it. Oh, yeah. Oh, we a whole bunch of y'all going to just start fainting, just falling out, faint. I don't know if people going to be able to revive us or not, because we ain't ready for it. We is not ready for it. Our ancestors didn't want us to see that for nothing. They fought tooth and nail, so we didn't have to see it and didn't have to witness it. And, all we had to do was pay attention and keep our history alive, keep our story alive. And history would not repeat itself. But now I think it was the Sumerians. I had a book some years ago when I used to go to the clothes shelf downtown and stuff. And I think it was the Sumerians said the people that don't know their history is doomed to repeat it. You can Google it though and see who it was. But yeah. Yep, life did. I sure feel like that about the animals, honey. Oh, 613 Torah Faith. I was reading that book to my children, The Delectable Negro. Oh, I'm going to get that book too. It's a couple of books. I have wrote them down. When I see that list, I'll call it off. And maybe, you still got it too. And, because it is my hope here and stuff that we all will be reading to each other. I don't know if I'll read that to my grandchildren. They still fairly young. I do have a couple of teenagers, but with them and stuff, I don't think they're gonna want to hear that. I'll probably have to find something else to read to them. It's gonna be a challenge for us, all of us, to get now. After all of this, we finna come back. Our kids gonna be like, what the hell? Our children gonna be like, what the hell? Now mom and dad want to study, our African-American heroes and sheroes and inventors and scientists and, yeah. But we got to do it, We got to do it. I don't know. I would say if I had, my own children, they were still young, so I would just be straight up with them and let them know. I would just be straight up with them and let them know we fucked up really big time. And now y'all need to know who these people are. You need to know our ancestors. You need to know what they've done. And I'll be like, and I do too. I do too. So what we going to start doing, families, we finna start have reading nights. We finna start changing what we watch on television. And just bring out your receipts. Like we got our receipts. Bring out your receipts and let them know. This is not finna be harsh. It's not finna be hard. It ain't finna be boring like white folks' motherfucking education. So, baby, you ain't got to worry and stuff. Oh, don't cry, Tay-Tay. Do not cry, baby. You ain't got to cry. You ain't got to hate white folks either, because it was white folks that was against what was being done to our people. You know, you just got to decide, baby, if the white folks that you go to school with and stuff, what kind of mind they got. But, you know, we ain't got to scare our babies and make them feel like, oh, y'all finna learn about lynching. No, not right now. You ain't. When you get a little older, you is. But right now, you finna be learning about Elijah McCord. You finna be learning about Bill Pinkett, the black rodeos and stuff like that. You know, we ain't got to make it hard for them. We just got to tell them what's happening, what happened. They know about slavery. And we ain't even got to go into the depths of that. Just let them know, baby, after slavery, when we were physically free, white America lied to us. That's who the fuck did it. We got to stop with all the secrets and trying to, let's just keep it calm and stuff. And no, that's lying to them. Just tell them what happened. White America done tricked us again. We got to do for us. We got to do for us. It's going to be hard, you know, for you, baby. It's going to be hard for you, because I'm not going to be there with you all the time during your life. But you going to have to decide, and you going to have to know, do my white friend, my white boyfriend, girlfriend, if they teenagers or whatever, and courting each other, do they got John Brown's mindset? Or do they got their other people mindset? Red Summer, do they got that mindset? See, we gotta start making our babies aware. Hell, we ain't got no problem expressing to them, keep your ass away from Tyrone. Yeah, your auntie told me she saw you down there with Tyrone the other day. I told you, keep your ass away from that boy. We ain't got no problem with that. We ain't got no problem with that. I will hear up and say that. We'll say that in front of everybody. Yeah, you stay your ass away from Tyrone, motherfucking ass. You know how he is. But when it comes to them little white kids, we ain't said nothing. No, you just gone with Karen, and I'll see you later. Have a good day. We got to stop all of that. We the problem, because we are afraid to let white America know y'all motherfuckers been lying to us, manipulating us. Hell, you gonna give it to them like Malcolm did. You done hoodwinked us. You done bamboozled us. You done ran us around the whole block, the whole plantation. And then let us stay your ass in the front yard then. That's what you done did to us. You ain't never stepped out and sincerely been for us, white America. You just always kept us on a leash, kept us where you can have all the benefit from us. We ain't hardly benefited nothing. If you see anything we benefited, even the sorry ass education. And I know some of us, quite a few of us, got the degrees, got financial freedom, living in big old houses, ain't hugged a tree in 22 years. Ain't hugged a tree, ain't never sent a truckload of Christmas gifts for the kids in the neighborhood. Ain't never done nothing like that, but they successful. They made it at the sacrifice of their people. Yeah, you sacrifice your people, you can make it pretty much. You sacrifice black people, you can make it in music, you can make it in art, on TV, you can be a famous singer or actress, whatever you want to be, if you sell your people out. Oh, you just like that overnight. You could be like, go viral. Success story. You sell your people out, everybody, wow, did you hear about the next? Oh, that boy can sing. Can't play nothing. Sitting here got all the AI done made up everything for him. Yep. But we so hung up on what white America love us to do and to behave and act. And that's how we do. Yeah, we can't even be ourselves and stuff. So right here, yeah, you do got personal freedom right here. I do. Yep, and personal freedom, to me, is talking about what happened to Black America. And this is what happened to Black America. White folks did. White folks is what happened to Black America. And until we get away from them, we ain't gonna never find our healing. We ain't gonna find it, and they ain't gonna give it to us. They ain't trying to heal themselves. I saw that video. Y'all see that little short? I don't really like to share other people's stuff too much. Cause see, they ain't even thinking like I'm thinking. They probably share stuff in a forgiving way, an unintentional way, I guess, where they looking at it differently. So of course they're gonna feel differently than I do. But I was looking at it myself, y'all, and it's a whole bunch of nothing but white men. Y'all, they white men. And they at this spiritual retreat. And honey, everybody, why is everybody growling? Why is these white men rolling around on the floor, growling like they releasing this rage and this fiending that they got? And and I've been thinking about it. I've seen it a couple of times. I did comment because what I've been reading after I seen it, and I've been reading it. We've been reading this for a couple of months now. And then I just seen it maybe a month ago, I guess. Wasn't too long ago. And this what I thought about. Oh, this why they ass ain't had no rage. They ain't came out the bag like they generally do. It ain't been no massacres. The last massacre that we read was in Detroit, 1943. I think that was the last massacre that they call race riot. But I was like, oh, is this why they ain't having no huge, outbreaks, outrages and stuff coming out the bag on Black America? I do feel it coming though, because there's so much going on in the world. It is so much going on in the world. And right here in America, Black America is saying no more. We're done. We ain't marching no more. We ain't coming out no more. Don't call us for no help no more. We ain't supporting nothing. We ain't signing nothing. Then Michelle said she wasn't going to the inauguration, and I don't think she did. So it's so much going on right here in America and stuff. And I'm like to myself, well, damn, when is white America finna flip out? Because I know it's coming. When is white America finna flip the script? Then I saw that video, and it's like, oh, they've been holding their rage in. That's how they holding it in. Because they go to these spiritual retreats, and they get all that growling out and stuff. I don't know how long they there. And when they come home, they probably got little practices like that to release it. I don't know. I think white America need to explain the video, if you ask me. I think white America need to explain the video about what's going on. It's already out there. Somebody else shared it. I seen it from somebody else. And I think white America need to come on and just say what it is. If your ass is really not, this, then say it. Then say it. The hell, if the dogs is finna stand up and start walking and shit, then white America, you can go on and say who and what you really are. You can go on and say it too. I think we pretty much know that we ain't the same. It ain't gonna shock us that much. Don't let it shock you that much, Black America, okay? When they do, if they do, let us know who and what they are. Yeah. It is what it is. When you want to know, or you want them to just keep lying and sneak it up on you. Oh, yeah. Well, tell me, and I'll tell everybody. I ain't gonna put it where it's gonna scare you and freak you out either. I'm just gonna let you know. Black America, yeah, we in danger. Yeah, we in danger. But yeah, let's read, right? Because it is what, 1:35. Yep, it is 1:35. So let us read our book. Oh, Sharia, honey, I don't know. But the way this shit right here is reading, this history right here is reading what was done, honey, somebody ain't human. Somebody's not human. I can't even think of people that would do stuff like this right here. And you can. Y'all is okay with y'all? That people, other people. I mean, right here in America. Right here in America. I ain't talking about tribal nothing. on the other side of the world and stuff. They got their own thoughts, their own language, their own beliefs. Everything is different from over here. But over here, where we supposed to be civilized and, insane, as they say and stuff, really, where we don't even hug a tree, we cutting down. We making everything over here anti-life. But I digress. But yeah, so like I'm saying, right here in America, where, you wouldn't think these things happen. And maybe, obviously, you didn't know either. Yeah, you probably just now getting here because, honey, we done read about all kind of inhumane things, unmentionable things that now I don't think any sane human would do. No, but to have it done over and over again by a culture, I mean, throngs of folks at one time. And I'm not talking like no 5, 10, 100, people. I'm talking about 5,000, 1,000, 10,000, 50,000 people, 100,000 people, at a lynching. Pregnant women with their babies, little bitty kids, it's a mindset. And yeah, to me, that's not human. That is totally anti-life. Hell, I don't know what it is. I want to find out, though. I'm going to find out. Yeah. Somebody got to find out. Hell, is everybody scared to find out who the fuck done drove Black America crazy? Everybody's scared to find out who done drove Black America crazy. Who is driving Black America crazy? And don't nobody want to do it. Don't nobody want to see it. Don't nobody want to face it. Well, we looking for another excuse why Black America is insane, damn near. Almost insane. And I said it earlier, and I say it again, if it wasn't for our critical thinkers, if it wasn't for our mentors, our elders who left us all this information for us, you can look up anybody. You can look up anybody from Dick Gregory back to Ivan Van Sertima, Bobby Hemmett, Brother Polite, Brother Panic. Yeah, I don't know why I've been thinking about Brother Polite. I used to listen to him. Yeah, a few things, not a whole lot and stuff. But I remember him, and now he's still in jail and stuff, locked up. Because, see, a lot of people, a lot of us, we get in the position, and then we sell us out. It could be for whatever. For whatever reason, we sell us out. And, yeah, we have to suffer the consequences for it. So, yeah, he done did some shit, and his ass is, yeah, he gone. Brother Polite is. Brother Panic, he passed away. I be listening to him too. I really like Brother Panic. He was a straight up brother. He didn't sell us out for nobody. Prosperity. Brother Panic didn't sell us out for nobody. He didn't sugarcoat nothing for us. He told us how it was, what was going down. A lot of our, our critical thinkers and our mentors, they tell us what we need to know. Then we got some others out there with the knowledge. And they tell us, but they put it like, where it don't really resonate. It don't really take seed because they don't plant it. Yeah, it's some seeds you ain't got to plant. You can just throw it there and, it'll sink in the ground or somebody will walk on it or anything. A bird might land on it and it's just pushed into the soil. Well, our sellouts, they don't do that. They might take the seed and drop the seed on concrete. Take the seed and, I don't know, break the seed up. And it ain't even a seed no more. It's just, broken up sunflower kernels. Just selling us out. But Brother Panic, he never sold us out. He's a straight up brother. He sure is. And, that's another that we can listen to and stuff. There's so many of us. You can go on YouTube and find anybody that you want to listen to. Yep. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, we're going to read tonight, and I hope we get to a full chapter. See, that right there is a full chapter. I think that is a full chapter. I hope it ain't more pages than that. These are some long chapters because it ain't no pages. Ain't no pages in this book right here. It was a few color pages in that Red Summer. Oh, and in Racial Violence in Kentucky, it was some pages in there, too. Some photos. But in this right here, honey, it ain't no pictures to show you. I'm not sorry. That's what we read. Yeah. So racial violence in the United States. And this is edited by Alan D. Grimshaw. And I look forward to us telling our own stories. Oh, this is a picture here. I don't think he's a brother. We give credit to him though. But I think it's high time for us to start telling our own stories. For us to start teaching our own stories. We supposed to been doing this. I supposed to been doing this. Hell, I love to read. But yeah, I already done said it. I love the Harlequin romance and stuff like that. We got our families that love to read and stuff. Don't even matter how old they are. Shay love to read, honey. Go and take that Amelia Bedelia from her and give her Betty Before X. Yeah, Betty Before X. Go on and get that Fortnite. What is it? Minecraft? Them little comic books like they got to make it fun and entertaining to the kids. Go on and get that and give them something like this right here. Instead of them being on the game playing what is it, Grand Theft and all that crazy stuff, start giving them books and stuff. Don't just give it to them and be like, here, read this right here. You set your ass down and read it. At least get to the first chapter or something with them. And then if they be like, oh, yeah, I'm going to read this right here, then let them read it. But when you first initially start this, you're going to have to do it together with them. You're going to have to do it together with them. Our babies, we can't just leave them to whatever's going to happen, whatever's going to be. We can't do that. That's going to be wrong. Our ancestors didn't do that to us. Sharia Carmelite, you love to read too. I know. Reading is like my first love. And then music is like my first love. So I got two first loves, reading and music. Yeah, I can't even sing, but our music, it moves me. Yeah, so let's read a little bit. Yeah. Urban racial violence in the United States, changing ecological considerations. Urban racial social violence has occurred in every geographic region of the United States. It has not occurred in every city and every area. Certain similarities in background and social context are found in the cities which have had major race riots. And we know race riots are really massacres. But see, since they were in charge of writing it and stuff, and documenting, they call it what they want to call it. But then our elders and our critical thinkers and our experts told us and taught us they really are massacres. They really are massacres because Black America was in defense. Black America was defending themselves. Black America was never the aggressor. They were the victim. So it wasn't like it was a race riot. Blacks and whites were attacking each other. White folks was just attacking black folks and all of the race riots. That's how it was. So yeah, my whole life and stuff, I just heard about race riots. When I did hear about it, it was like race riots. I think when I first heard about the Tulsa race riot, which was like in 2013 and stuff, it was a race riot, Yeah. So anytime it was even mentioned, it was probably called a race riot. I only recently resonated that it was a massacre. They were massacres. East St. Louis, Washington, Chicago, Tulsa, and Detroit all had sharp increases in Negro population in the years immediately prior to major interracial disturbances. And there were accompanying strains in the accommodative structure, generated in part by the Negroes' assaults on it, and in part by the sheer pressure of population on facilities. Accounts of urban race riots, which are in sharp disagreement on other details, consistently converge in descriptions of their ecology. Ecological patterns are found in reports of individual incidents which did not lead to riots. Without doing too great an injustice to the data, it is possible to specify roughly 4 patterns of urban racial violence. 4 patterns. Let's see what this is. 1, spontaneous brawls over an immediate disturbance among bystanders. 2, the mass uncoordinated battle. The mass uncoordinated battle occurring when groups of one race attack usually isolated members of another race. Mobs of one race seldom engage mobs of the other race in open battle. It's like if you see like a mob of white people and a mob of black people, you hardly ever see them come toe to toe, head to head. But if you see mobs of white people and one black person or two black people, then yeah, you would see that. And I guess they saying it would be vice versa too. But I don't think so. I guess it's just relative, I guess. Yeah, but that's the history of how it would be. If mobs of white folks and they seen a group of black people, they really wouldn't do nothing. But if they saw just one or two black people, then yeah, they would go after that black person and stuff. And that's how a lot of the mobs in these books was doing when they were mobbing. And they would see black people just walking home from work or on the trolley or the streetcars and stuff, and they would attack the black people. And sometimes black folk would get caught in the massacre, the race riot, because they didn't even know it was a race riot going on. They were just throngs of white folk would just come around the corner, and they mad and they got their clubs and sticks and stuff and they yelling, and they just start grabbing black folks and beating black folks down and killing black folks and stuff. So a lot of black people were just caught, and it wasn't like at the wrong place at the wrong time because they coming from work. It's a route that they always take, going home. So that's what I think of when it said that mass uncoordinated battle occurring when groups of one race attack usually isolated members of the other. Mobs of one race seldom engage mobs of the other race. 3 is the urban pogrom, Pogrom. The urban pogrom, which is the full-scale assault of one group, almost always white, upon Negroes, and which has occurred particularly where white people have assumed the tacit approval of government. These pogroms have resulted in the flight of large numbers of the minority community. 4, stray assaults and stabbings on the part of individuals or small groups of one race upon individuals of the other. 3 varieties of expression on social violence may be distinguished: physical assault, including lynching and other homicide, arson, bombing, and other and like forms of attack upon property, and looting. Looting is the third one. These occur with differential frequency and intensity in the 4 patterns of urban violence, urban racial violence, noted above, and in the following types of ecological areas. A, Negro residential areas with no or a minimum number of business establishments, usually the upper or middle strata of the Negro population. B, middle white class, well, it says white middle class residential areas. C, Negro residential areas of high density, serviced largely by white businesses. D, stable mixed neighborhoods. E, neighborhoods previously dominated by white people, now undergoing a transition in occupancy called contested area. In Chicago Commission on Race Relations, 1919. And F is white dominated areas not contested by Negroes. And lastly is G, white dominated central business districts. The importance of other sites within a city, such as recreational areas and, more recently, lunch counters or schools, is determined partly by their location relative to the 7 types of ecological areas, and partly by the local potential for violence. In major riots occurring before and up to the end of World War II, 2 other types of locations were of particular importance in the ecology of major disturbances: public transportation facilities, particularly transfer points, and government buildings. Finally, either nature or man-made boundaries like bodies of water or large parks and large industrial complexes or railroad yards have confined or determined the path of violence. The purpose of this paper is to determine whether patterns of urban racial violence, like brawls, and particular expressions of violence, physical assaults, are differently manifested in different types of ecological areas. Data are drawn from accounts of major urban race riots up to and including the Detroit riot of 1943. While no attempt has been made to integrate materials on the ecology of the violence of the 60s, it may be mentioned that these events closely parallel the patterns discussed in the section below on Negro slums. And now that I was reading, I was thinking, 1943, when I made the reference to the Detroit riot of 1943, like in the 60s, with all of the racial violence and stuff, what stopped them from becoming massacres? Was it because they were, like the massacre of Fred Hampton or the massacre of Medgar Evers, and because they happened, by one or two people. Well, I know in the movie there was that one man. It was just one man shown in the movie of Medgar Evers. So I guess it's just where there was throngs of white folks, that constituted a mob that caused it. Yeah. I'll just be thinking and stuff, trying to get my own mind to think. I don't want to be told how to think. And yeah, it's this way and that way. And then I got my own thoughts and stuff. And I still don't understand it if I take it how you said it. That don't mean just put my own thoughts and questions out the back, just sit it on the back burner. Don't even worry about it. Throw it out the window. No, just because you give me the answer and stuff, that still don't mean my answers that I'm seeking are void. I don't need to find out, So yeah, I just be questioning stuff for myself. Ecological consistencies in urban racial violence through the World War II period. During the first 45 years of the 20th century, the United States experienced a large number of major interracial outbreaks, and particularly in the years following World War I, a host of lesser disturbances. A typology of periods of racial violence in the United States is suggested in Grimshaw, 1959. And that would be this right here. Oh, maybe he got other books. We'll see. Yeah, we will see. Because it have been making reference to Grimshaw 1959, 1961 to 62, and stuff like that. Except in certain differences between northern and southern styles of race riots, they show a remarkable degree of ecological consistency. And that's Grimshaw 1959, page 65, Grimshaw 1959, pages 36 to 37, and pages 178. Negro residential areas with no or a minimum number of business establishments. Where they have existed, these Negro residential areas contain populations which, in income, in years of education completed, and in occupational status, are above the norms for the larger Negro population. That makes sense. Where they have existed, these Negro residential areas contain populations which, in income, in years of education completed, and in occupational status, are above the norms for the larger Negro population. That's it, in income now. These neighborhoods had few incidents. The absence of non-residential property meant an absence of opportunity for looting. Lower population density and less likelihood of large gatherings made rioting on a large scale unlikely. It is also possible, although no evidence can be found to support the claim, that the higher social and economic status of the residents enabled them to enjoy better police protection than was provided in other Negro areas. Two varieties of racial violence might be expected to occur in these neighborhoods, though. One is arson and bombing and related forms of assault on property and attacks on persons. In Chicago, where bombings and arson were used to intimidate real estate dealers of both races from selling properties in exclusive areas. Trouble might have been anticipated where middle-class Negroes were concentrated. However, I lost the page. However, there is no evidence that these neighborhoods were singled out or that they suffered from raids directed randomly by white hoodlums, either during the major riots or in times of relative peace. It can only be concluded that insufficient evidence documents the local violence. There may have been incidents, but too few to attract the attention of authorities, or the characteristics of the neighborhoods and residents may have reduced the likelihood of incidents. In the absence of adequate documentation, it seems reasonable to accept the second interpretation. White higher class residential neighborhoods. The experience of white residential neighborhoods, particularly those more distant from central business districts with residents of relatively high socioeconomic characteristics, was similar to that of Negro residential neighborhoods. The more isolated they were from centers in which violence occurred, the more likely they were to escape trouble, except during major outbursts of race rioting. The single pattern of racial violence reported for such neighborhoods reflected the higher social and economic status of their white residents, many of whom employed Negro domestics, like the movie Help. During the course of several major riots, such domestics were attacked by white gangs, frequently while waiting for buses or streetcars. Large mobs seldom gathered in such neighborhoods, removed as they were from the areas where rioting was concentrated. But youths frequently prowled in automobiles in search of stray Negroes, and many frightened white employers kept their domestics at home until violence came to an end. All right, Negro slums. Violence in time of major race riots has been concentrated in Negro slums, which in many cities were served largely by white businesses. Casualties and fatalities occurred most often in slums or along their fringes, and destruction of property, particularly looting, was greatest there. Three subvarieties of social racial violence have occurred in Negro slums. And it said three subvarieties. I guess we'll get to it. And a number of race riots of the Southern style, attaining the intensity of urban pogroms, pogroms, or of mass racial war. Negro slums were completely or partially destroyed. In a number of race riots of the Southern style, attaining the intensity of mass racial war. Oh, so pogroms is really mass racial war. Because we read that word before in a couple of other chapters. In the Springfield, Illinois, and you know there was black people were ran out of Springfield in one of the other chapters. And I was thinking to myself, is that Springfield, Tennessee or Illinois? Because, you know, the rioting was in Illinois and Tennessee. Massacres. See, that's why I need to know the chronological order. See, all of that is going to help me. See, when you get your channel and stuff and you start teaching us and stuff. Yeah, and then I'll be able to, I'll be able to follow the chronological order of things. And it'll make better sense to me. So we all need it. We all are needed. All right, let's see. Let's read then. In the Springfield, Illinois riot of 1908, 40 Negro homes were destroyed and an estimated 2,000 Negroes were driven from the town by rioting white people. In 1908. And all of those people were traumatized. Every exodus that black people, they called it hijira, black people running for their lives. Every exodus that black people had to take and flee for their life, they were traumatized. They were traumatized. Every one of them. It said in Tulsa, the Tulsa massacre, the Tulsa race riot, 10,000 black people feared for their life. They flew out of Tulsa, all of them in shock. I think there was this book. We read that. And it said all of them flew for their life. They fled for their life. They left everything. And it said all of them was in shock. Going out into the world, going into their new lives, wherever they ended up in, Chicago, another state, wherever they ended up at, they were all in shock. And they weren't together. Some moved here, some moved there, some moved there, And so when they got where they were going and stuff, they were just hurt, in shock. Just never received the healing. They never received the healing. And this right here was saying in 1908, but Red Summer was in 1919. Black people, it seemed like we always been in a state of shock. We ain't never not been in a state of shock since 1865 when we walked off the plantations. Because racial violence in Kentucky was 1865 to 1940. So it's looking to me like we ain't never had no healing. We ain't never had no break from white America except for Tulsa. The few decades we was out from under white America, but they came back with such a vengeance, such rage on us. We ain't never left them again. We ain't never left them since then. Shocked, traumatized. No wonder we won't go nowhere. Well, let's read. In the riot in East St. Louis in 1917, the Negro section was invaded. Negro residences and businesses were set on fire, and Negroes were shot down in large numbers as they attempted to flee from the burning buildings. Remember the story of the brother? They were, white people was after him and stuff, said he did something. He ran home to his family and stuff. The Klansmen came home on their horses and stuff with the fire stick, and they threatened to get him. They wanted him, and he wouldn't come out the house. And they set the house on fire. And all his family came out, his wife, and I think he had 2 or 3, maybe 4 children. As soon as her and the kids came out, they shot them right then and there on the porch. But brother hollered out the window or the door that he wasn't coming out. No, he was not coming out. And why would he? They had already killed his family, slaughtered his family right there on the porch. And I guess he, instead of going out there letting them kill him, and he died right there with them. He died with them, but not by their hands. Not by their hands. Nope. He said, oh yeah, you slaughtered my whole family, but you won't get my body. Because we don't know what they did to come back and get the bodies. I imagine some of them bodies, they did come back and get them. And, some of their bodies, they didn't even know who was who after the fires went out and stuff. Like Joe Ruffin's sons. When white America, about Carswell Grove, when white America went on that lynching tirade and killed everybody, and they didn't know of Joe's 2 sons. They didn't know which one had the chain around his neck or which one had the rope around his neck. Because when they found the bodies the next day, everything was just melted down. The fire was so hot, I imagine. Everything was so melted down. There wasn't no way to say who was who. The little babies that they just would grab the babies from the mother and throw the babies in the fire as they were riding by on their horses. The Klansmen riding by on their horses. They done set the house, the church on fire and stuff. And they see the baby. They done killed the parents or what have you, done ran them off and stuff. But the baby's still there crying or whatever. Well, they got the baby by the leg, and as they riding off, they just swing the baby into the fire. It was in the book. I think it was this book. It might have been Red Summer, but I'm pretty sure it was this book because it don't seem that long ago I read it, because I remember thinking, why would you toss a baby in a fire? Who would toss a baby in the fire? And the baby just landed in the whole house is on fire. The church was on fire. So no, I highly doubt, if it ain't some animalistic twinge going on here. Now, I don't doubt. Let me get that right. Yeah, I don't doubt that there's some animalistic twinge going on here. I sure don't. No, I don't doubt it. Not at all. Yeah, not my mind. I do not doubt it, honey. I might be the only one this side of the afterlife that don't be shocked when we see what we gonna see. But I know my ancestors seen it too. I know they seen it. Yeah. They never wanted us to see it. They never wanted us to see that. That was their last thought, their last wish. That our future babies, our future kids and children don't never have to see this. And look at us now, honey. We looking, we going. White America's like, yeah, you gonna see it. Because that's exactly where they taking us to. But let's read. Yep. In these and in equally bitter disorders in Tulsa in 1921, violence was confined to Negro areas and their boundaries. However, in each case, fighting began in the central business district. Because, they said that Dick Rowland done did something to that white lady and stuff, but that was an excuse so they could come over there. And because, white women was the number one flare up. Anything about white women, you can assault or bump into her, look in her eyes, anything to do with her, and white America finna come out the bag on. And so they used that to get over there to Tulsa and to start the massacre. I do recall reading that part right there. His name was Dick Rowland. I forgot her name. In these and in equally bitter disorders in Tulsa in 1921, violence was confined to Negro areas and their boundaries. However, in each case, fighting began in the central business district. Negroes then retreated to their own sections, and attacks were launched against them there by large white mobs. So even though the riot and the massacre began in the central district, black people went home. They ran home. And the white mob came there. White mobs came there. That was their intention. In Springfield, there was little fighting back. In Tulsa, on the other hand, the white attackers were resisted in strength and for a time repulsed. In these cases, and in similar Southern riots, all three varieties of violence occurred, although looting was minimal and was often only in the form of breaking into pawn shops and hardware stores in search of weapons and ammunition. Casualties were heavy and fatalities high, Negro victims accounting for the largest share. Arson was endemic. In Tulsa and East St. Louis, the Negro sections were almost totally destroyed. So see, when we see riots going on, like with George Floyd, when Derek Chauvin, I heard that motherfucker released him too, pardoned him too. But I didn't research it or look it up or nothing. But yeah, but the riots after George Floyd, and everybody, black people are burning down their own communities and stuff like they always do. White America started it. White America started that. Sure did. It's just the self-hate, the dedicated ignorance that Black America always inflicts what they're feeling, what we feeling on us. See. No northern city experienced racial strife in which all-out attacks such as these were made on Negro sections. And that's Alfred McClung, McClung, Alfred McClung Lee, and Norman Daymond, Daymond Humphrey, assert that one was narrowly averted in Detroit in 1943. And that would be Lee and Humphrey, 1943 pages 39 through 40. The two Harlem disturbances of 1935 and 1943 were completely limited to the Negro slum. On other occasions, riots in Negro sections occurred in conjunction with more widespread violence. The Harlem disturbance differed from other riots because of the sheer size of the local Negro population. A major invasion was inconceivable without a fairly well-equipped army. and only police forces were equipped in a manner in any way adequate to cope with the 1943 disorders. On the other hand, whites in the area were relatively few, and when outbreaks occurred, were either able to flee or to find Negroes willing to give them shelter. There were few occasions for Negro-white contacts, and physical clashes were usually between the resident population and the police. Most of the violence was in the form of looting of stores and general destruction of property. While some evidence suggests white property was singled out for attack, enough Negro establishments were attacked to leave open the question whether the violence was racial. In other northern urban race riots, Negro sections have shared in physical, social violence as well as being the centers of property damage and looting. Physical assault may be by Negroes on whites passing through their neighborhoods in automobiles, on public vehicles, or on foot, or on whites who found themselves in the area when major rioting began. Or there may be conflict between Negroes and the police, the Negroes frequently being armed and, according to the police, initiating violence by assault or by resisting arrest. Or finally, there may be conflict following the invasion of Negro neighborhoods by bands of armed whites. They got guns and stuff, they armed, most frequently making forays by automobile. I mean, like the terror riots, the terror cars, I mean. And I think I'm gonna have to check out that book again, because I'm under the impression that drive-bys actually started with white folks also. White folks started drive-bys also. They called it terror cars. And what happened was white folks would get in their cars and they would drive through, black neighborhoods and shoot their guns and stuff. And then black folks started doing it back. Black folks started riding through white folks' neighborhoods and shooting their guns and stuff. And this right here is a recipe from Brother Yaki. 7 green apples, 1 stalk of celery, a pinch of cilantro, a handful of parsley, half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, a thumb of ginger, 2 cucumbers, and a lemon with the skin. Juicy. Yeah. And white folks would ride through black folks' neighborhood shooting, and black folks started riding through white folks' neighborhood shooting. And at one point, they each was just riding through each other's neighborhoods shooting guns, drive-bys. They were called terror cars. But at some point, we're going to find out about that too, because see, all of this right here is about the self-hate. I'm going to get to this self-hate, and we're going to heal this self-hate among our people. I know it's limited amounts of us here, but it'll grow, it'll take on, just us, just one person, working at this right here can start the healing. We've already started it, But what happened was white folks stopped doing drive-bys in black communities, but black folks turned the guns around and kept doing drive-bys on our own self. And white America, black America, the rest of the world too, look at it like black America just picked up a gun and started shooting ourselves. This is a psychological battle we in. This is a spiritual war we're in. It fucks with your mind. You know how white America told black America during slavery that if you trying to escape slavery, you got Drapetonia. They literally told black people, I think they made a law about it, Dr. George DeGrasse, look it up, Drapetonia, Drapetonia. They told black people, you got to be crazy. You keep escaping, trying to get away. What are you trying to get away to? There's nothing out there for you. You don't deserve that out there. You won't work out there. You're not going to survive out there. They brainwashed it into black people that they had to be crazy to want to escape from slavery. It's like that, a reverse psychology. You see, it was like a reverse psychology. Start us doing something. It didn't say how long it lasted, those tarot cards. But then all of a sudden you stop doing it and they continue doing it, but turn it around on themselves, on unsuspecting people and communities, Yeah. We got to get away from white America. We cannot stay like we are with white America. We got to set some really definite boundaries, Black America. We must set boundaries, especially now. And our hands are pretty much being tied right now. I don't know how we're going to set these boundaries, but we got to think about it. We got to critique it and find out what are we going to do. If it have to be us, common folks, down here with common sense that sincerely want to heal Black America, we may have to be the ones. We may have to be the ones. Your big brain may have to be the one to write out that rough draft of why revocating the Civil Rights Act of 1965 is unconstitutional. You may have to do it, and we may have to sign it, and we deliver it. Because for our people that know and that's actually in position to not have already taken, defense of this and just gonna let it happen, we cannot just let it happen and just let it stay in. I mean, can't y'all do something? Ain't y'all thinking about something? What else is it y'all talking about saying it's unconstitutional? It was something that came up and everybody said, oh no, that's unconstitutional. Is it deporting the immigrants? It's something that's supposed to be unconstitutional. Well, hell, I think revoking the Civil Rights Act of 1965 is unconstitutional. I mean, how is that even possible? I know he's the president, but how is that even possible? Hell, he's a felonic president. The first president that's got a felony, or however y'all classify him and stuff. Yeah, I know I got to get in politics too. Mm-hmm. And then, I mentioned it earlier and stuff that in really tiny micro print, it's got where the Republicans are trying to get Donald Trump a third term. But that tiniest print says that Obama, because black folk were like, well, that's fine shit, we just finna vote Obama back in. But no, the invisible print says that if you have served 2 consecutive terms, like back to back, you can't do it. You don't qualify. That's the clause. That's the loophole. Yeah, so it's a whole diabolical setup against Black America. Mm-hmm. Yep, against Black America. Now where your friends at? Let's see where our friends at now, Black America. Yep, let's see where they at now. Who finna come out now, for the sanity of Black America? Ain't nobody concerned about Black America's sanity, Black America's welfare. People know what it means, revoking the Civil Rights Act of 1965. People already know. Yeah, they finna lose all their rights, all their protections and stuff. And white America finna come out the bag on them. Yep, everybody already know what's finna happen. But Black America act like they don't know what's finna happen. Oh, do, honey. This did not go away. This did not go away. Kentucky said, stop doing it in the public. Stop lynching them in the public. Now they stripping it back. They done took us back where, yeah, you can lynch them in the public again. They got what they wanted. Kentucky got a fine state. Once they did that, have white Kentuckians to go underground with the butchery, with the savagery, the ravishness. Oh, Kentucky built up. Yeah, people moved there. People brought their businesses, their families, and loved being in Kentucky. But now Kentucky's saying, we did it. We did it. We had a successful run of people coming here, moving here, building Kentucky up. So now is this when Kentucky finna say, hey, you can let it out. Let the dogs out. You know the song we came out with, Who Let the Dogs Out? Is this really what Kentucky finna let the dogs out again? I'm just asking. You know, I mean, hell, it seems like they reneging on everything else. Well, what's the word I say? Reneging, revoke. Seems like they revoking everything else. You know, yeah. When you start learning this stuff, honey, you see words you never even knew existed. It's so awesome. You know, your mind just opens up. But yeah, I won't be surprised if it is, honey. Ain't nothing gonna surprise me. Once you start thinking critically for yourself, by yourself, you get some ideas of what could happen, the scenarios. See, before we start reading and stuff, we just go by the narrative. Just by the narrative. But when you start reading and learning and thinking for yourself, then you can envision scenarios. It can happen like this. It can happen like that. It can happen like that. You know, it can happen anyways. That's how you know you thinking. You're not being programmed. Like Dr. Ray Hagan said, you know, it's programming. We've been programmed. It's really simple when you think about it. It's really simple when you think about it. Why are we still with these people who hate us, who literally hate us? They have taught us to hate us, to literally hate ourselves. Who would hate their self? I mean, what person, what people? Yeah, you got exceptions to the rule. But what people, where everyone would hate themselves to the point of, yeah, I'll see you dress, look, walk, talk, eat, breathe, sleep. I will see you function as something that you're not. And I won't even tell you. Yep. It's a sickness we got from being around white America. Yep, we got to heal us. We can't heal them. No, honey. Right today, this very day, they taking us back to where we ain't had no rights, no nothing. And then what? Who finna be the new black people? Who finna steal this legacy from us? See, them Doll Rose came through and stuff and sold that first legacy that was stolen, the theft of melanin. Yeah, stole that first legacy of ours. Now we done built us up and we kind of somewhat, you know, got a little inkling of who we are. We don't really know, but we kind of know we one and the same. Me and you, we one and the same. We kind of know, Black America. We kind of feel and know that we one and the same. But now, after this right here, what's going to be our new name? We done went from color to blacks to, what was it? Negroes, people of color, black people, Americans, African Americans. So what we going to be next? Because I got a feeling somebody is finna claim Black America as their own. Yeah, they finna claim Black America as their own. Why else is everybody learning how to be black? Do y'all get that? Do y'all notice that? Everybody learning and they like teaching themselves. They like teaching each other how to be black. Well, maybe it's just me. But yeah, I'll just be paying attention to stuff and wondering, well, hell, what does that mean for black folks? Where are we gonna be? Say like if white folks, you know, some of them gonna be like, no, I would never say that I'm black. I'm a black woman. I'm gonna remain just like my ancestors. But then you got some white folks that's like, yeah, you know, and they would be the ones that be like, yeah, it's the new black. Like that show, The New Orange. I don't think I even watched it and stuff, but it said the new orange is the new black. You know, it's me. I just got here. Yeah, so let's read. In both, did I read this part? In both the Chicago riot of 1919 and the Detroit riot of 1943, the Negro slum, or the immediately contiguous CONTIGUOUS areas, experienced the greatest number of casualties. Over half the fatalities in the Detroit riot occurred in Paradise Valley. Paradise Valley. And we say rest in peace. And they literally brought hell to paradise. How many? So many paradises. When I look at it like this right here, half the fatalities in Detroit riot, occurred in Paradise Valley, all of the fatalities in the massacres, in the riots, were in peaceful sections, peaceful areas, peaceful communities that we have built up. They were all paradises. The white mobs came in, burned down, destroyed, murdered the people, ran them out of town. The towns that they flooded, the many towns, there's so many towns in this country, in the United States, white people just flooded the whole town. You remember that movie, what was that movie about them three white boys and stuff? It'll come to me and I'm gonna remind y'all too. And they flooded the town. Was it the Slough Boys or something like that? And they flooded the town. That reminds me that shit was true. Yep, that was true. I didn't know it at the time. That whole black towns were flooded. And they was like, I was looking at one documentary, it was talking about Lake Lanier. It's a whole black town under that lake. They were like, if you drain that lake, you're going to still see the street lights, the poles that was up. You'll still see like the post office or maybe the little cabin houses and stuff. You'll still see the parks and the walkways and stuff like that because they just flooded it. They just flooded the town. I'm sure some of the older wooden buildings and stuff probably collapsed under the water, But yeah. And then they like people actually be boating on Lake Lanier. They be sailing and boating. Some people were still in their houses. They wasn't sure that everybody got out of the town before they actually flooded it. So it's like, wow, y'all having so much fun on top of a lake that's over a whole black town, and you picnicking, you sailboating, swimming, got their little sailing things up in the sky, like that blimp I was talking about. They parasailing and stuff, and it's a whole town up under them. Now I ask you, does any of this strike you as human? Do any of it resonate with you as human? Now we know it's crime all over the world. It is crime everywhere. We know right here in the United States, I know the black race is losing their mind dealing with white folks. Yes, we are losing our sanity dealing with white folks. We done. We can't handle no more of white folks, what they doing to us, all of this torture, the trauma, the catch-22, the diabolical agendas they got, the manipulations on the mind of Black America. How much more do we or them think we can stand? How much more are we going to put ourselves through? Dr. John Henry Clark said, are we dumbing ourselves down for white America? And I ask, are we riding us like this so white America ain't got to ride us like this no more? Because if we was, that shit didn't make no sense whatsoever. It didn't even make a difference. Because, see, we wasn't doing it like they like to do it. See, the way white America like to ride Black America is to drag your ass down the whole time. Is to strip you of everything. Cut your bones in pieces. Cut your ears off, your nose, your lips. Cut off your protruding parts of your body. So no matter how hard we became on each other, it didn't never satisfy white America. It did not satisfy white America. They got to satisfy that fiend for Black blood. Yeah, I know. I know this is probably a little bit too heavy and deep for YouTube, but hell, I'm here for this, to tell the truth. I don't know what to do, but to tell us the truth, how I see it. Yeah, I know y'all supposed to, censor some stuff, but I ain't really said nothing, and until I actually am able to censor whatever I'm supposed to censor or use particular words, I don't know how this algorithm thing works. Hell, that's what everybody been talking about. Show transparency. Well, I ain't supposed to show transparency with this, with the truth. So I'm struggling with that a little bit here, But it's not to fearmonger us. It's just to let us know that we must be wary. Don't be worried. Do not be worried. Be wary. Cause see, when you're being worried and stuff, you ain't focusing on nothing. You just worried. You're looking down and you're shaking and stuff, and you might be looking around, but you ain't paying attention to nothing. You just making sure ain't nobody around you in your space. You worried and stuff. We can't have that. You need to be up and wary. You need to be vigilant. What they say, keep your head on the swivel. Always looking around. I just say keep your eyes on the prize. Everybody else is. We can't be wary. This is not the time to be wary. This is the time for Black America to be wary. Know what's going on. You know who you with when you decide, oh yeah, we're going to take us a little small road trip. Know who you with. Okay, Black America, just know who you with. Know where you going. Know who going to be there when you get there. Shit don't be like some of our family, go on these trips and these overnight, play dates, I guess, adults having overnight get-togethers and play dates and stuff. And then your ass the only one there. And you end up injured or, worse. And don't nobody know what happened because everybody going to say it was self-defense. Everybody going to say you came out the bag and it was self-defense. Know where you going and know who you with, Black America. That's all I'm saying. Well, let's read. Yeah, we ain't got much more. Yeah. Yeah, but anyway, Paradise Valley, that's something to think about, ain't it? Yeah. Over half the fatalities in the Detroit riot occurred in Paradise Valley. And that was a real place. That was the name of it, Paradise Valley. It just made me think that all of our places that they destroyed were paradise. Every last one of them. Yeah. According to the reports filed by the police department, 17 of 34 deaths in the riot were caused by justifiable shooting by the police. How is that justifiable shooting? They wasn't shooting the white folks that was causing the riots. And the white folks were the ones that were breaking into the hardware stores and the pawn shops to get the guns so they can go shoot and chase and track down black folks. Now, black folks were trying to buy guns from pawn shops and hardware stores, but they wouldn't even sell black folks guns. So black folks had to go home and get whatever they could get to defend themselves with. But white folks just break in, and after the pawn shops and hardware stores and stuff were closed, and the white folks just break the glass, go right on in, get the guns that they wanted. Some hardware stores and pawn shops gave white people guns and ammunition to go and catch Negroes, to go get niggas, black people. Yeah, they did. Yeah, they would, and and that make me wonder too. After all this time and stuff, the Detroit riot of 1943, how many of them people, still taught that mindset? The elders, that their elders still taught that mindset. That wasn't that long ago. Yeah, that was a couple years before my mama was born. She was born in 1952. Yeah. It just made me wonder, where's all these people at? Where's all they kids and they kids, the grandkids? What's their mentality? Oh, acting like, oh, that's not us. We not like that. Yeah, my family was there in Detroit in 1943. But they were there, but we didn't do it. Yeah, they were just with the throng of white people walking. But they didn't do anything to anyone. They were just with them. Well, hell, it's 10,000 white folks. How you know who did what? Why were they with them? Oh, well, they were just together with them. They were with them because they were hunting down black folks too. Now, when it comes down to it and stuff, and we got to tell our children these things. You know, they looking for love. They looking for marriage, ready to have a family and stuff. You know, and we just sit here this whole time. We ain't even told our family about the histories. We ain't even told our families about the histories and stuff. They don't know who the hell they done mingled and married and got kids with. You know, and then they finally meet, oh, that's Uncle Joe. That's great Joe. Great uncle. You know. Well, his daddy was the one hell that was lynching everybody. That's little Joe that was in the picture right there. Where that? Do we got that, a picture in this book right here? Red Summer. Red Summer got some pictures. Yeah, Red Summer got some pictures. Let's see if we can see a picture of little Joe at the lynching. Yeah. Oh, there you go right there. That's the big brother. Little Joe, he was like 5, 6 years old. But you see that right there? This right here is Willie Brown. They dismembered Willie Brown too. And they cut his fingers and stuff off, and they drug him through the town. After they lynched him, cutting off his fingers and toes and stuff, and his ears and stuff, and you know, somebody would be like, "Oh, you going to the lynching? Well, bring me a pinky, you know, or bring me a toe, bring me an ear." You know, they would come up and they would just cut a piece out of his body and stuff, you know, just to have, I don't know, just walk around with the flesh of a black man. That's just how they were doing stuff. And then they threw him on the fire. Then they threw his body on the fire. Yeah. That's Willie Brown. But hold on, I'm going to show y'all a little Joe. Dang. And I just hope they get where they going so they can help whoever needs some help. But this right here is see, I wanted to show you little Joe. See that little boy right there? I'm gonna show that picture. He like a teenager. See that little boy right there? He's really a teenager. He probably the oldest son. The little bitty boy that I was talking about, he was like 5, 6, maybe 9 years old, and probably in the other book, one of the other books and stuff. But they had their young kids there. White folk, they had young kids there. And if you see the look on their faces, look how they smiling in that picture, looking at Whitney. If y'all can see it, I don't know if y'all can see it. Can I get up a little closer? Look how this one right here on the end. Where my finger at? Where my hand is? Shit, right here. Here he is. Look how he grinning. Look at the looks on their faces. Look, they grinning. It's gleeful to them. You know, that's what they need. That's what they get off of. You know, they have to have it like that. I don't know. I have no idea what goes through their mind. This right here is not human. Who could think this was human? Who could think this was ever human, then or now? These same people that did it then have the capability of doing it again. See, that's what we don't get, Black America. That's what we don't get, because there has been no accountability. There has been no answering for these atrocious crimes, these animalistic crimes. I'm not even talking about on a big scale. I'm just talking about, you know, just us and them. Just us and them. What the fuck was going on, white America? Where the hell all this come from? Where the fuck did all of this animalistic actions, thought? Y'all move as one like a swarm. I mean, they literally move like a swarm. And they ain't never had to answer for it. So for me to believe that they've healed, it seems almost comical. Who said that they've healed? We ain't even got no healing. We ain't even healed. And we haven't been done like this publicly, like they did, like they were used to doing, like they will probably do again. Most likely, yeah, we have no idea. You say I can't say it, they won't. Oh, I can't say they will. And well, hell, you can't say they won't. You cannot say white folks won't do this again. I think I can say that they will do this again. They ain't had no healing. They ain't let our ass go nowhere. We ain't had no healing. What's to make you think they won't do it again? Have they had some miraculous healing that we ain't heard about? Have they had some miraculous change and transformation within themselves that I ain't heard about? Because it looked to me, honey, like, yeah, we going right back to these times. And we back in 1965, Detroit race ride. 1943 wasn't that far from it. So let's read. Yep. According to the reports filed by the police department, 17 of 34 deaths in the riot were caused by justifiable shooting by the police. The police just going through shooting folks. Considerable caution is needed in interpreting the findings of this report, with two exceptions. Physical violence in these areas was usually visited by mobs of one race upon isolated members of the other. One exception involves large numbers of police engaged in battle with mobs of Negroes. In both the Chicago and the Detroit riots, they waged pitched battles. The other exception has occurred when large numbers of Negroes have caught and engaged raiding parties of whites invading Negro sections. Let me read that again. The other exception has occurred when large numbers of Negroes have caught and engaged raiding parties of white people invading Negro sections. In other words, when black people see white folks in their neighborhoods terrorizing. Yeah, black folks, I think we should always, stay woke. Always stay woke. Keep your eyes on the prize. If you sleep with one eye open. Sleep on shift. You sleep, then they sleep, then you sleep, then they sleep. Because we never know when they in our communities and stuff. Remember years ago when white Klansmen were putting them flyers in black people's neighborhoods on the cars, and then they told us they was in the wrong neighborhood. Yeah, that was the excuse. They went and asked them about it, where these flyers come from. So they found out where the flyers come from. And they went and asked them, well, how did all these flyers end up in the black community? Are you guys planning something? And they were like, oh, no, we were in the wrong community. Tell us anything, right? Yeah. The other exception, a more frequent occurrence than either of these, however, was cases unaware, was a more frequent occurrence than either of these, however, was that in which white motorists passing through Negro areas, in some cases unaware of the rioting, were stoned by Negroes, or in which whites were pulled from buses and beaten or otherwise assaulted. And see, again, that's like with the tarot cards. White folks started doing it, then black folks started doing it. Then white folks stopped doing it, and black folks kept on doing it. Well, the same thing right here. White folks was going through pulling black folks off of the streetcars and stuff during the riots when they would catch them. Just be a throng of white folks come around the corner, and black folks just start running and stuff. Some of them can't get away and stuff. And white folks just start grabbing them and beating them and killing them and stuff. Well, the same thing with black folks. Black folks would see white people coming through the neighborhood and stuff and would just grab them and start beating them up. Just like white folks would do, black folks would do the same thing, mimicking how white folks did. And then white folks would stop, and it looked like black folks are the aggressor, the danger, the savage, the troublemaker. Yeah, that's how it seemed to me, how it was. It's looking like it turned out with a whole lot of things to be that way. White folks started, black folks joined in, then white folks stopped, and black folks are left like, what? And then just turn around and start hurting each other. It's a brainwashing thing. It's like once we go past that threshold, that mental threshold, they put us under a spell or something and turned us on each other. Yeah, it's like a real programming. Like you going, say you going to the kitchen to get you a glass of water. And you really programmed though. So when you get to the kitchen, all of a sudden you don't want water. You want something else to drink. And that's what you get, the other drink that's been programmed in you. The same thing with Black America. It seems like every time Black America go to defend and get help and resources for themselves, it turns into something else called the programming takes over. And instead of, getting healing and well-being for yourself, you end up doing something totally different. We got to get away from white America. That's just it. Yeah, I don't know how we're going to do that now with the revocation of 1965. Just go all out with it. It's time. Yeah, motherfucker. You can't revoke the Civil Rights Act of 1965 because we leaving y'all asses. Revoke it for who? Well, there must be the immigrants. Must be white folks that's getting protections from it. Because Black America is leaving y'all asses. Black America is done. Don't none of that matter no more. We finna have personal freedom and financial freedom away from white America. Yeah, we're going to have to. To survive this, we really can't even let them drag us back past 1965. Because the further back we go, the worse it's going to be. So we need to start adapting right here at this point in time. We must start adapting for here so that we can go forward. Because if we go backwards, it ain't going to be no gain. No gain whatsoever. And yeah, that's what I think. That's what I come up with. I don't know what other folks going to come up with, but we're going to talk about it. And we're going to decide as one. Because we got to stay together. But I know shit. When anybody be like, no, we gonna let them drag us back. No, I ain't gonna be with you then. Black America, y'all can do that by yourself. You gonna let them, oh yeah, we can let them drag us back for 4 more years. And then what? After 4 more years, always something else. You gotta stay back. Oh, didn't he tell somebody that after this election, they won't ever have to worry about voting again? So what? After this right here, he gonna forever be the president? Unprecedented times. What the hell is going on? Yeah. I know we're almost done. We're almost there. Assaults on property have taken 3 forms. In the Chicago riot, arson was fairly common in the Negro section, allegedly committed by members of white gangs and athletic clubs. Remember, they said that athletic club that had moved in the Black community in Chicago, I think it was. And Black people that were walking through that community that had to go to work and home. The athletic men with their big buff ass would come out of the athletic club after hours, middle of the night, early of the morning, beating up on Black people that were walking through the community. Because they set up that athletic club right there for that reason. So yeah, they would attack Black folks and stuff. And I guess it would be the same when Black folks started doing it back to their ass. Is that where an eye for an eye come from? Is that where an eye for an eye comes from? I digress. Let's read. Arson and bombings were not frequent in other major northern riots. More frequent was the looting of places of business by Negroes who engaged in general destruction of property of white people. Destruction of automobiles was incidental to assaults on white motorists. Stable. Ooh, this might be good for you. Stable mixed neighborhoods. The term stable mixed neighborhood has conveniently no precise meaning. In discussions of race riots, the term has come to mean residually. Yeah, the term has come to mean residually neighborhoods in which no social violence occurred. The implied meaning, however, seems to be that neighborhoods so labeled are characterized by unchanging patterns of occupancy, whatever the proportion of whites to Negroes. If this is the case, there is indirect confirmation that violence is less likely there. Studies like that of Kramer 1950, if you want to look it up, have demonstrated that more favorable interracial attitudes are to be found in such neighborhoods. So that's just like, well, it's mainly white people and stuff, It's mainly white people, and they maybe got some mixed kids and stuff, and the husband may be black or the wife may be black, but the kids are mixed, it's a blended family. It's kind of like, a little wealthy or a little not poor, povertized, So of course in that neighborhood right there and stuff, you wouldn't see a whole lot of social violence there. No, you wouldn't see a whole lot of social violence there. And I believe that's because, hell, it's the peaceful white folks community. You don't see a lot of crime in the peaceful white folks community. I mean, they don't have no hardships where, you got to take this because you're hungry. You got to take that because you cold. Your baby need this, so you got to go do that. Direct evidence is more problematical. Lee and Humphrey, 1943, page 17, state that students reported that there was no violence in mixed neighborhoods during the Detroit riot, only in the black neighborhoods. The characteristics of these neighborhoods were not specified, either in their volume or in other writings on the Detroit rioting. Either in their volume or in other writings on the Detroit riot, where similar statements were made. On the other hand, in the Chicago riot of 1919, violence directed at Negroes occurred even in areas of long-established Negro occupancy, while other adjusted areas remained quiet. Example, the North Side. See Chicago Commission on Race Relations, pages 108 to 113 and 119. If there were any residential areas in northern cities where Negroes and whites had lived amicably for long periods, they were probably few and far in between. And any assertions about a lack of violence there should be looked upon with caution. There were non-adjusted neighborhoods which experienced no violence. Chicago Commission on Race Relations, pages 114 to 115. Areas where patterns of occupancy remained relatively unchanged over long periods of time were friendly, or at the very least, cordial relations prevailed between the two races. Probably had the same experience during race riots as did the Negro residential and middle white class neighborhoods. Violence, such as it was, resulted from invasions from outside, not from the explosions of local social tensions. As in the case of Negro and white middle class residential areas, however, there is insufficient data to state positively that stable neighborhoods were characterized by particular patterns of violence during periods either of actual rioting or of relative peace. Because I was going to say that well, never mind. I ain't going to say it. Never mind. Contested areas. The term contested area was used by the Chicago Commission on Race Relations to describe areas previously dominated by whites, but undergoing transition, and those which, although not yet penetrated, are in the line of movement of the Negro population and anticipating invasion. The latter differs from the next ecological type in that the areas discussed in the next section, although close to centers of Negro population, are not contested by Negroes. Opposition to Negro in movement has been expressed in both an organized and a non-organized fashion. Much of the interracial conflict in periods of relative harmony occurred there, and much of it was and is organized in the form of neighborhood improvement or properties owners associations. Or properties owners associations. These usually disavow, or at least verbally, violence of any variety, although the claim has been made that their publicity was often inflammatory. Whatever their official views towards violence may have been, it was in contested areas where Negroes had already moved in that incidents of violence most frequently occurred in periods when there were not even no actual riots. The incidents largely involved property, either destruction of Negro occupied property or harassment of the owners by minor damage. Long and Johnson in 1947, if you want to look it up, have noted that both the Chicago and Detroit riots were preceded by violence over the entrance of Negroes into white neighborhoods. Such areas, in a pattern that continues today, also provided the scene for physical assaults. In view of the concentration of violence in these contested areas and periods, when other parts of the city were enjoying relative peace, it might be anticipated that in times of actual race rioting, they would have been the focal point of violence. This is not the case. The Negro slums suffered more casualties, and in at least one major riot, that in Chicago in 1919. The highest number of casualties reported was in an area with no Negro residents. Some violence did occur in these areas, particularly along their borders and at transfer points in public transportation. In 1943, Woodward Avenue in Detroit served as a boundary line between the major concentration of Negroes in that city and an area of low-class white residents, which included a large number of rooming houses. Lee and Humphrey, in their volume on the Detroit riot in 1943, include a battle map of major points of overt conflict. Two were located at Woodward Avenue and Main Cross Streets in the Mack Davenport area and at Verner Highway, where the sharpest fighting involving large mobs of white people took place. Whites stoned automobiles with Negro passengers, dragged Negroes from buses, and beat them. At other points up and down Woodward Avenue, Negroes occasionally took the initiative and attacked white folks. However, there was no major invasion across this line, and although some Negro penetration had occurred in areas west of Woodward Avenue, there was no major violence there. However, violence also occurred around a small concentration of lower-income Negroes along Michigan Avenue. Here again, the violence occurred on the peripheries rather than in surrounding contested areas. The reason for the lack of major violence in contested areas during major race riots is not clear. A possible answer may lie in the implicit observation made by the Chicago Commission on Race Relations, that the neighbors of Negro in-movers were infrequently involved in attacks upon the new tenants. It is possible that most of the violence visited upon new Negro residents is the work of individuals, not themselves local residents. In its investigations of bombings, the commission heard testimony of one victim that the police believed that the bombings were being done by a gang of young white roughnecks who were under police surveillance. Long and Johnson, 1947. If this was true, and if similar acts of violence directed against property had been committed, not by neighbors, but by outside fanatics, it becomes easier to understand why those sectors saw less violence during actual rioting. The perpetrating individuals or groups were, during major riots, more likely to be found where there was more action. Violence in these areas during major rioting was probably more likely to occur as a result of chance encounters or of a concentration of people, not specifically gathered for the purpose, for instance, at bus transfer points. Except in the peak periods of major race riots, contested areas were the centers of most racial violence in northern cities through World War II. In cities which experienced no major race riots, almost all violence occurred there or in areas such as recreational centers with unusually high potential for trouble. In cities which experienced no major race riots, almost all violence occurred there or in areas such as recreation centers, with unusually high potential for trouble. White-dominated areas not contested by Negroes. In their discussion of Negro residence areas in Chicago, the 1919 Commission on Race Relations described adjusted and non-adjusted areas. The second category consisted of areas of organized opposition and of unorganized opposition. The report presented materials on areas of organized opposition, of one variety of unorganized opposition. The report presented materials on areas of organized opposition, of one variety of unorganized opposition. The commission said this: there are residence districts of Chicago adjacent to those occupied by Negroes, in which hostility to Negroes is so marked that the latter would not only find it impossible to live there, but expose themselves to danger, even by passing through. There are no hostile organizations in these neighborhoods, and active antagonism is usually confined to gang lawlessness. In the section immediately west of Wentworth Avenue, and thus adjoining the densest Negro residence area in the city, practically no Negroes live. Wentworth Avenue has long been regarded as a strict boundary line separating white and Negro residence areas. The district has had many athletic clubs. Talking about where they was at beating up black folks, and were they all doing it? The district has had many athletic clubs. The contact of Negroes and whites comes when Negroes must pass to and from their work at the stockyards and at other industries located in the district. It was in this district that the largest number of race clashes occurred. Several Negroes have been murdered here, and numbers have been beaten by gangs of young men and boys. And that's the Chicago Commission on Race Relations, 1922, page 155. Of those reported injured in the Chicago riot, 34% received their wounds in the Black Belt itself, and 41% in the Stockyards district of the Southwest Side. It is difficult to find neighborhoods which has been as vehement in hostility to Negroes as the Stockyards area of Chicago. Even today, the district west of Wentworth in Chicago has remained one of the minimal Negro residents. In 1910, Wentworth Avenue was the east-west dividing line between the Negro and white populations. Between 1910 and 1950, the Negro population increased from slightly under 50,000 to a little over 586,000. The best ecological and demographic study of the Negro population of Chicago, or for that matter, any other northern city, is Duncan and Duncan, 1957. Squeezed between Wentworth Avenue and the lakefront, they spread throughout the south side and into enclaves in western sections. Enclaves, Enclaves. The Stockyards district has remained essentially white in the face of tremendous pressures of the Negro population. Under ordinary circumstances, Chicago Negroes in 1919 would have avoided the Stockyards district. They passed through it on their way to and from their work in the yards and packing houses and other industries, but they did not linger. As noted above, prior to the riots, several Negroes had been murdered there by gangs of young boys and men. If the situation had been normal, no Negroes would have been found there during the riot, with the possible exception of small raiding parties. However, the riot coincided with a major strike of Chicago's transportation lines. Negroes found themselves stranded at work. Some stayed, others attempted to go home, whether it was to protect their families or to engage themselves in rioting, or whether they did not even know about the riot, is unimportant. What matters is that they got caught in the very locality most notorious for hostility to them. Many were beaten and even slain. No other major urban riot has taken place where a white neighborhood characterized by such intense prejudice immediately abutted on the central concentration of Negroes. If in Chicago, it had not been for the transportation strike, it is doubtful whether so much of the violence would have occurred where it did. More probably, battles would have been concentrated, as elsewhere, along the boundary lines. However, tension was high in the areas of Detroit immediately west of Woodward Avenue, which, however, was a contested area even in 1940. And as has been observed, violence was largely concentrated along the dividing line itself. All right, let's keep going. Let's read. White-dominated central business districts. With the exception of the Harlem disturbances, highly distinctive in many of their characteristics, in every important interracial disturbance in both northern and southern cities, Negroes were the victims of mobs in the white-dominated central business districts. In those cases, where few Negroes were so assaulted, it was because the Negro population, forewarned, had not ventured downtown. Violence in central business districts took the form of physical assault and usually involved large mobs of white people and individual Negroes or small groups of them. In the Chicago riot, it was reported that the white gangs of soldiers and sailors who raided the Loop, the central shopping district, in search of Negroes, in the course of their activities, wantonly destroyed property of white businessmen. Chicago Commission on Race Relations, 1922, that's page 7. This, as in other cases, was largely incidental to the main purpose of catching and assaulting Negroes. No major outbreaks of looting directed at white property were reported resulting from white mob activity. The largest mobs of whites have usually been those which gather in the central business district. Lee and Humphrey report a mob of 10,000 people jammed around the Woodward and Davenport Matt intersections on the northern edge of the downtown district. Cadillac Square, between City Hall and the county building, was packed with milling murderous thousands, especially at the City Hall end. Lee and Humphrey, 1943, that's page 36. The mobs engaged in a variety of types of assault, from the stoning of Negro automobiles and their occupants to the invasion of theaters in search of Negroes. Oh, they were coming in through theaters, busting in theaters, people watching movies. It's dark, quiet. All of a sudden, you see a whole bunch of white folk just come through the theater looking for black people. Yep. Army officers saw from windows of the federal building in downtown Detroit a mob estimated at 500 people pursuing a lone Negro on 4th Street from Woodward. He would run, they caught him. He was running by himself. 500 white people after one Negro, chasing that one man down to get that man and lynch him. Now, what satisfaction can 500 people get from one man being tortured and lynched? I mean, and all of them. Not one person thought to themselves, that's a man running from us. He want to live. Not one person thought, when we catch him, what we going to do? They had a thought, when we catch him, we're going to do. It wasn't no what we going to do. When we catch him, we're going to do. And the windows, see the mob chasing the one man, the one black man. And it says similar events occurred in every major riot. Because I'm telling you, they would catch black people who just wouldn't even know it's a riot going on. They coming from work. They coming from, taking care of business. They've been out shopping. They going to see their loved one. They just going about their day. And all of a sudden, they just in a riot. A riot has started. Ooh, I think this might be our last page right here. Let me just look at a few of them, because the next few pages is going to go into some numbers and stuff, and I think we're going to wait for that. So, yeah, we will let this be our last. Let me put this clip right here. I know, right? Let's read. Special ecological factors. 2 types of ecological locations warrants special mention. Violence in northern urban race riots occurred frequently at transfer points of public transportation lines, particularly where members of one race had to pass through the territory of the other race. A comparison of maps noting transportation contracts between Negroes and whites with spot maps of injuries and deaths in the Chicago riot of 1919 is instructive. A general strike on surface and elevated lines after the second day of the rioting magnified the importance of transportation. For with the stopping of the streetcars, a new source of danger arose to those who attempted to walk to their places of employment. Even on the first day of the riot, however, attacks on streetcars provided outstanding cases, 5 persons being killed and many injured. Chicago Commission on Race Relations, 1922, that's page 17. In the Detroit riot, both whites and Negroes were pulled from streetcars and beaten or otherwise assaulted. The same thing occurred in East St. Louis and Washington riots, Negroes being the major victims. Incidents in Harlem have been recorded in which white employees of the transportation systems were assaulted by Negro passengers, although this was important in neither of the major disturbances in Harlem. Public transportation provides an opportunity to catch isolated individuals and attack them without fear of immediate reprisal. Another scene of violence is government buildings, attacks on which have occurred when it is believed that Negroes have sought shelter there or because Negroes are known to work there. Negro municipal employees were evacuated from the City Hall in Detroit when the building was threatened by white mobs. Other locations of interracial violence in major northern urban race riots have been highly specific. The rioting in Detroit began on the Belle Isle Bridge and became general apparently only after a much publicized announcement at a Negro nightclub. That location, Belle Isle, was on the very periphery of the Negro concentration in Detroit and fits none of the ecological classifications of areas suggested above. Once the riot was underway, activity in the original area became minimal. Yep, and is that it? I think that's it for tonight. Let me see. We're going to read one more. Yeah. The Detroit rioters and looters committed to prison. Because I was finna say right here now, at the City Hall in Detroit, when the building was threatened by white mobs, why they asses didn't come out and arrest all of them? See, it was opportunities like that white America had to stand up against the many sabotages and assaults that were being perpetrated on black people. And no one ever stood up for black people to stop that. They always waited for it to die down and go back to business as usual. Or they let it happen as it will, and then black people flee for their life, run for their very life, and move somewhere else. So the Detroit rioters and looters committed to prison. Race riots have occurred many times in the United States, but the conviction and sentence to prison of 100 and more of the participants is unprecedented in its volume. On March the 9th, 1944, we have received in the state prison of Southern Michigan at Jackson 105 of the defendants who have been tried on charges growing out of the Detroit race riot of June the 21st to the 22nd, 1943. Others are still being tried or are awaiting trial. Already there have been written several reams, REAMS, concerning the race riot in Detroit. Newspaper and magazine articles, editorials, pamphlets, surveys of opinion, reports of lawyers and other associations, and reports by psychiatrists, police commissions, and various city officials have been published. Probably the most important publication has been a small book by Alfred McClung Lee, and Norman D. Humphrey of Wayne University, 1943. This volume contains a rather objective journalistic report and sociological interpretation of the riot. The present article is concerned not with the Detroit race riot itself, but with that group of men convicted of felonies and incarcerated in state prison as a result of it. The investigators are interested in the social and psychological background and equipment of the men that induced them to participate in activities connected with mass race violence, and for which they were convicted of felonies. As far as the writers can discover, this particular phase has not heretofore been attacked. Kind of sound like the race riot at the Capitol, when they all went up in there and rioted on the Capitol, and it was said to be because Trump had incited them and done stroked them up and stuff. I don't know. I didn't really watch it, but I seen it. What's that lady named there? And they said she was in the service. She was in one of the service of the military, and she tried to go through the window, and they shot her. I think her last name was Babbitt, though. I believe her first name started with an S. Was it Sonia or Sandy or something? I don't know. But I think her last name was Babbitt. Maybe even Bobby. But I know she went through the window and they killed her. And I found out that she was in the service because I was reading the comments. And people saying, oh, shit. Hell, she was in the service. She should have known that she was, violating. But I think it was something else that they were calling it. Because she was in the service. It was like, it's unknown when you're in the service that you don't, commit treason or something like that. It was something that's out of my knowledge, of course. But yeah, they were like, she should have known to be doing that right there. She was in the service. She know that's treason. Something along those lines, But yeah. Method of procedure. The records of the state prison of Southern Michigan were used as a source of data. These records include, with regard to each man, the Michigan State Police Report, a copy of the court's indeterminate sentence record, probation officer's report, educational and psychological examinations, medical report, and a social history. In some cases, these records are supplemented by letters from the man's relatives, former employees, from schools he has attended, and from institutions both penal and eleemosynary. 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 Oh, wow. I've never heard that word before. Eleemosynary. Eleemosynary. Which have had contact with the prisoner himself and with other members of his family. All of the men who were sentenced to prison for crimes directly connected with the Detroit race riot were studied, and the records compiled on them were the source of the data used in this paper. There were 97 Negroes and 8 white men in the group, a total of 105 cases. Hell, how was it 97 Negroes? When the Detroit race riot started because of white mobs. Well, let's read. It's always been, uneven, unfair. As will be pointed out in greater detail later in the paper, the majority of this group were not rioters as such, but looters and carriers of concealed weapons. Most of the actual rioters, the participants in acts of violence, were convicted on charges of assault and battery, disorderly conduct, and or other misdemeanors. These misdemeanors, or active rioters, were in the main sentenced to the Detroit House of Correction for periods varying from 30 days to 90 days. Although there were 13 perpetrators of violent crimes sent to prison, only 3 were actually charged with rioting. For purposes of this study, however, the group of men convicted for crimes directly connected with the riot are hereafter called the riot group. It was noted that each man in the riot group had been tried and sentenced at Recorder's Court in Detroit. A control group of 97 Negroes and 8 white men was selected at random from the men received at the state prison of Southern Michigan from Recorder's Court during the months of May and June 1943, immediately preceding the riot. Frequency distributions were set up for the riot group and the control group on the basis of age of offenders, intelligence quotient, nativity, and length of residence in Michigan, grade placement in school as indicated by individual results on the new Stanford Achievement Test, history of drug addiction, and venereal condition. Statistical analysis were made on each of these sets of distributions. Further analysis were made of the riot group alone on the basis of industrial skill, marital status, previous criminal record, and the specific crimes for which the men were convicted. Oh, this is good. I think we're going to, let's see how far we can go back. But this right here is really talking about Detroit. I guess we'll start with nativity. Wow. Yeah, I probably should have stopped it back there because it's going to talk about nativity, then the age, then intelligence, academic grade placement, further description of riot group, and then the summary. Oh, yeah, that's good reading right there. Let's see what time it is. I don't want to keep y'all all night and stuff because I know people have to work. Oh, yeah, this 3:30. This is it. We'll start at nativity tomorrow. Nativity. And it's going to start. Only 14 of the riot group were born in the state of Michigan. Only 14 were born in the state of Michigan. And then I want to say the ones that were arrested, they had guns for protection. It just said they were arrested for concealed weapons. They had guns for protection. What else were they going to protect themselves with? But somewhere along the way, yeah, finally, it became an eye for an eye. It became an eye for a motherfucking eye. It seemed like to me when black folks started fighting back, standing up for themselves because white folks were doing too much. And now when you think about it, we're reading this right here, and now we is in a whole new U-turn. They done did a whole new U-turn on black America. And what are we going to do? We got some thinking to do, black America. We got some decisions to make. Whose side are we on? Honey, we all ought to be calling on the ancestors right about now. Everybody ought to be calling on our ancestors right about now. Everybody, come on back. Come on back, everybody. Come back, please. If you don't know their name, just call them ancestors. Call them the ancestors and beckon them back because they never thought we would be back in this place that they saved us from. How dare we be so damn dumb? Just foolish. Fool and a dummy. I ain't listening to nobody. I ain't watched nothing. All the hell white America done took black America through. We still got trust for these people. We haven't doubted nobody that's sitting up there. And they done even told us. They done flip-flop so much and stuff. We flip-flopping. Performing at the inauguration and stuff. And then there was Snoop. Performed at the inauguration. And I didn't even remember. Because I don't follow celebrities like that and stuff. Shit, hell, your ass done got your financial freedom and forgot all about us. No, I don't follow celebrities either. Singles and stuff like that. I'm happy they made it. Make some good music. It used to be. They ain't making shit now, if you ask me. But anyway, somebody brought it up years ago. It might not even been that many years. And Snoop talking about who was going to be performing for Donald Trump. Yeah, talked it bad about him. Whoever it was that was going to perform for Donald Trump, and then, damn, it turned around and was his ass. Oh, I'm not damn. They damn. But yeah, it turned around and it was him. So it was like, his old self was talking to his new self. Because he must have forgot too that he was talking all that shit about which one of y'all niggas gonna be performing for Trump. You fucking sellout, you ain't shit. but dog shit. And then it turned out to be him. Oh man, you can't make this stuff up. Cause I'm like, hell shit, if anybody seem to have at least have some smarts and intelligence, then hell, it should at least be the, those that got financial freedom that can actually afford, the education. Yeah, I guess I just didn't think, music and stuff take up that much of your time, cause it ain't even that good today, in my opinion. I mean, I can see our music, the older music, you know, taking time, because there was a craft, it was an art. But shit, if you ain't really doing the music, playing the music, how they really played all the instruments and everything. But after that right there, I really don't see what the big hype and the waste of time is for. So yeah, I'm kind of like, well, maybe they do got time to study and stuff. Shit, you getting up there, you half stepping anyway. Don't they give you a little more extra time to study? I don't know. Maybe I just thought they had a better education to know these things, but here, obviously they don't. Obviously they don't. So my common sense is a green light for me. My common sense is the green light for me. It might not be for nobody else, but I suggest you find your green light. Yep. Because, honey, they taking us back whether we want to go or not. And I'm going to be screaming and cussing every step of the way. Sure will, honey. Get your goddamn hands off of me. Yeah, we can't just let this happen. Because, honey, we're going to find ourselves back in chains again. Can y'all imagine if they put us, Black America, in them smart cities? Everybody talking about, oh, it's a smart city. And you can be out in the smart city. You can go everywhere in 15 minutes. I imagine you can if you your ass on the escalator going everywhere. The escalator is actually, I wonder what the inside of the smart cities look like. I mean, is it like a dome that's going to shut everything down? The dome is like invisible. You really can't see it, but it's there. And everything is really on, how streetcars go in the cities and they got the tracks? Is it tracks through this whole smart city going every which way you might want to go? And it's just traveling. That's why it takes 15 minutes to go where you're going. Because once you get on that escalator, and that escalator take you, and you can get off of it there and get on it to go that way, I'm just like, wow, who gonna end up in this bullshit? Because I really can't see white America keeping themselves in little bitty cities that you can go through the whole city in 15 minutes. 30 minutes tops. That's it. I can't see white America being there. And if you honest with yourself, you can't either. I can, however, see people that they've captured and taken to them smart cities to stay in. So see, that's why we got to start talking to our babies and stuff, because we need to know some things. Yeah, we forgot. I'd rather the babies learn and give me their insight. I ain't saying nothing against y'all, Black America. We all adults and stuff. I'm not saying nothing against y'all. I'm just saying that I think that the young ones, the babies, will resonate with me. No, I don't trust you in your mind like that. I think the babies will resonate with me and how I think. Because I know, we forgive and we forget, white America in our old age and stuff, We just at that forgiving stage and stuff. And I know, we'll sugarcoat it and lie and try to make it seem, oh, it ain't that bad and stuff. We just going to touch it up a little bit right here and stuff. Where I know kids are going to be honest about it. They're going to tell you what it is, how you can do it, how it won't do it. They're going to have that honest, that trustworthiness to it. And so, yeah, that's why I say, hey, start talking to the children and stuff and teaching the children and let us know. Let me know anyway what they say, how to get them doors open. Ain't nobody else going to be trying to get y'all out of them Teslas now. It's going on, And I just want to know before I get out of here and stuff, is it feeling like 1965 yet to Black America? The first person tell y'all it's feeling like 1965, let me know. Because when it started feeling like 1964, 1960, and they roll us on back and stuff. That's when it's going to really get crucial. Because, baby, you already know when it get back to 1865, y'all better put the brakes on. When it get back so far, what else you think gonna happen? The handcuffs finna come back out. The enslavement is gonna come back out. When it gets so far back on Black America, see, they ain't pushing you back to 1965 and leave you there. Now they're gonna push you back further behind 1965. This right here was just the first kick. This right here was just the first kick. Kick your ass back a little bit. But see, it's got to be a lot more kids because, see, they want to get you where they got to have you at. They got some power now with this 1965. But see, to go back, that'll give them the ultimate power against us. So, yeah, we got some work to do and stuff. We might as well just, hold on to each other. Find your hope and your strength in each other, in our ancestors. Because we finna take a major turn. Things finna be totally different. It's finna be like a whole new surreal lifestyle. However you want to classify, Twilight Zone, yeah, everything's finna be totally different. So, and we got to adapt to it. We got to adapt to it. Don't conform to it. Because if you conform to it, it's going to stay the same. It's going to stay the same. We got to adapt so we can, what is it, when you go around something? We got to circumspect so we can circumvent or something like that. We got to go around it. Got to find our way around this. So we can't conform to it. Nah, we ain't settling for this shit. I'm not. And then what? What next? Black people going to be the only ones getting the vaccinations. Everybody else going to be like, no, I ain't getting that shit. I'm not taking that shit. I'm not taking it. But then Black America be like, oh, yeah, I'll take it. See, we got to wake up. We got to start thinking about us, our future. I don't know about y'all, but I don't want to leave my babies here. Not like this. Yeah. Yeah, you right, Call Dog. We do need a new green book. Sure do, honey. Yes, we need a new green book. Don't you go nowhere by yourself. You sure better not. If you do, honey, you better have your eyes on the prize and your neck on the swivel. You better be looking everywhere, sleeping out of one eye. You better have something on your body. If any type of set down air or whatever, just a wind just breeze by you, it better wake you up. It better tip you that, hey, somebody's in your personal space. You need to wake up. Sure do. And there's so many people here now, I'm kind of wondering to myself, hell, all of them people that were leaving, going back to their country, was that really the ones that were undocumented? Or is that the ones that ain't, that, the ones that can be here? They done pulled the old switcheroo on us. Well, hell, they didn't put it on us. Hell, they put it on them. They're going to be mad about it, too, when they find out. And I was like, why would they even do that? Pull the old switcheroo. Well, we just going to go ahead and go. And then, we start relaxing in America and stuff. Well, maybe most of the criminals gone, the bad ones, the ones that they let out of them jails and prison and stuff. They said most of them were criminals that was here anyway. So, America start relaxing and stuff, Black America too, start relaxing and stuff, with most of them gone and stuff, we can relax a little bit, we can breathe a little bit, and we'll work on getting the rest of them out of here and stuff, But the ones that's left here are actually the ones that were supposed to go. The ones that went are the ones that actually can stay. So, see, we really ain't changed nothing, see, because we don't know these things yet. But I want to know how this going to play out. But we do know that ICE is on the ground, and ICE is, is coming for folks and sending them where they're supposed to be. And it's just an ugly mess, Black America. I wish we never even got involved with this. I wish we had, at least taken ourselves and put us first. Put our future first, our health, our mental stability, our physical health, our education. I wish we had just at least done something for us instead of thinking that, we all going to be all right with white America, because we're not. White America is showing us every day how they really feel about us. Yeah, how they really feel about us. They knew what Trump was doing. White America knew. They knew exactly what Trump was doing because they know exactly who Trump is. Trump is the avenger of white supremacy. Trump is the one with the dog whistle. Trump is the one that's going to let them know, hey, I know what Kentucky said, but you ain't got to do that shit no more. And so it begins. Yep, so I do feel betrayed by everyone, you know. Our people, we should feel betrayed by everyone. I mean, hell, everybody else ought to be standing up saying, you can't take that away from them. Where y'all friends at? Where is y'all friends at? You know, y'all so in love with everybody and stuff. Where's everybody else that's supposed to stand up and say, you cannot take the Civil Rights Act of 1965 from Black Americans. We use it too. But America let it happen. Society let it happen because they ain't never cared about us anyway. It make me think they had this plan all along. When we walked off them plantations in 1865, did they know? Oh, we'll just give them about 2025. Then we'll be able to take them back. You know, but until 2025, we're going to be working on this and this and this and this. All of these operations and projects and stuff. For that paper that I read off the other day, with all of them so many, like, what in the world is Project Sea Spray? Operation Bluebird or something like that, you know. And so they like, yeah, well, we got some things to bide our time. We got some things to bide our time for quite a while. And round, say, 2025, we'll be able to, you know, if we're at that point, because they were like, you know, it could be more or less, might be 2030. Which they got plans for 2030, you know, and they were like, at that time, you know, we'll just roll the clock back. So I'm of the opinion and stuff, hell, was it a time limit on slavery? On our freedom? Us being physically free, was it a time limit on it? Somebody say something. Because if it was a time limit on slavery, on us being free, then what is up? You mean tell me it's up? So everything that our ancestors actually fought for, died for, suffered for, then the rest of us came along and invented this whole country up, built this whole country, and now we got slavery gonna be re-proposed. See, I think too much. But we gotta think like this and stuff, because this right here, Black America, is when we gonna say hell to the motherfucking no, and everybody get y'all ass up and go. It's time for us to tell them, you must go. You can't remain on this land no more, not like this. You cannot remain on this land like this. If you do, white America, your small majority minority need to go to your own spot. Go band with the Amish. Go ask the Amish, white America, can you live with them, among them? Because we don't trust you no more out here in society. How can we? How can we trust white America? I just want to know. I don't see it. I don't see no racial reconciliation with white America. I don't, you know, but that's just me. Maybe my people will see it, you know, and if my people say, yeah, Face, it's worth racial reconciliation, you know, if they show us a sincere effort being made, but right here, right now, no, I don't think so. I don't think so, because everybody going to turn around and turn on themselves. They're going to turn on us to themselves with Trump. When they say, yeah, well, come on, y'all, we did it. And everybody going to go. Everybody going to go back. And they're going to leave us here with whatever we got. And all I got to say to that is get your kids. Get your kids. Get your kids. And let their ass go. Hell, Sabrina too. If Sabrina want to go on back over there with Trump and them, with the Klan and them, with her people, then you let her go. You let her go and you keep them babies so you can raise them. You know, yeah, we ain't got to make this hard. We do not have to make this hard. We just need to get the hell away from out of Dodge. You know, we need to get to safety. And if that means get away from white America, get the hell away from white America. Shit. Yep. Well, I will see you all tomorrow morning. Yep. 12 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Yep. And we're going to read about some of our inventors, and our scientists and engineers, our writers and the troops, the soldiers, because we need to keep that at the forefront. It's hard. It is really difficult reading all the good, the bad, the ugly, the savage, and the ravishness. I can't say I can't even think what was the hardest book that I read, the most difficult book. And I liked to read Anne Rule, True Crime. But this right here is in a class all by itself. When I was younger, I liked it to watch Sorbidor, how Hitler did in Germany and stuff. I used to like to watch that one. It was called Sorbidor. I think that's what I think it is. It might be a little different, the name of it and stuff. But that's how I remember the movie. And they was showing how he was doing, the people over there and stuff. Hell, he got his ideologies from America. He got his ideologies from America. I mean, America was throwing black bodies on fire, doing bonfires and stuff. We just seen it in the book, on the picture. And his ass was leading them folks into the barn, into the gas chambers. They literally just walking in by themselves. Yep, kind of like Black America just jumping off of the cliff by themselves, spinning and doing cartwheels and shit. It's reverse psychology. See, that's why we got to get away. We should have never stayed around these people like this. Whoever told us to stay around right America, they lied. And they ought to come back and tell us, yeah, we lied, so we can get us a different perspective. Or do we need permission to do this? Do y'all need permission? Because if I got to give permission, then, hey, I will. If I got to give Black America permission, then I'll do it. Because some of us seem okay and ready, and, and we got confidence and capable in ourselves. And, even me. And I was like, yes, dude, should I go live? Do I want to tonight? Do I want to tomorrow? But it must be done. And that's all you got to decide. It must be done. Hell, I might be 5 minutes late, 10 minutes late, but I got to do it. So, yeah, if y'all need me to go ahead and let you know that it's okay to do this, let me know. I will. As best as I can, I will let you know this is what we must be doing. This is what we must be doing. Do you think that our ancestors thought for 1 minute that we wouldn't have to stand up? They didn't know we were going to do this whole U-turn and be taken right back to where they was like, no, we can't have our future generations going through this. They had no idea we would actually stay among white America and let them. Yeah, we let them. We let them. We let them lead us right back where we've been trying so hard to get away from. So, yeah, you need me to give you that permission, I'll give it to you. I can and I will. Peace and power to the people.